program is intended for mature audiences.
Welcome
to the podcast, man.
Laughing at Birds, episode
11. We're getting into, this is our official introduction into double digits.
Hello.
Technically, because I mean, I really don't count 10 as a double digit. Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a double digit.
All right.
I don't accept birds as birds. I accept laughing at them, though. Laughing at birds.
So listen, before we even proceed any further,
I
feel the need to throw this out there as a reminder. Depending on where you're listening to this, if you happen to be on SoundCloud or maybe you're on the YouTube platform in which there is a playlist that gets updated every time a new podcast gets added onto the list. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because I want everybody out in the internet land to know that we currently are live and streaming. Well, not live, but you know what I mean. We are on YouTube, as previously stated, SoundCloud, again, as previously stated, Spotify, Castbox, Radio Public, iTunes,
and soon to be Pocket Casts, hopefully.
Yeah, they say that it's up there, which they asked me, I DM'd them on Twitter, so let me give them credit quickly, because those guys did finally, it took them almost a day to get back to me, and my phone's going off, but they did get back to me, which reminds me, I have something else before I even get into the initial topic that I wanted to talk about. Well, let me put this on vibrate so we don't have to deal with that. So I think I covered everything, right? Spotify, Radio Public, iTunes, Castbox,
SoundCloud, obviously.
Yeah. I think that's all of our platforms. If there's a platform out there that you would like us to be on and we're not on it outside of iHeartRadio, let me know. Oh yeah, Google Play Music. We need to look into getting on the regular Google Play Store if that's even a possibility. I have to look a little bit further into that. The reason why I'm saying not to worry about iHeartRadio is because I attempted to add us in there last month. And after I got no traction from them, I sent them an email to which they replied, listen, a podcast go up in the order that they're received. So whenever you get on, you get on.
Oh.
So I was like, okay, well, fuck your platform then. So if you're listening to this...
The fucking El Bully of fucking broadcast platforms. That's pretty cool.
Seriously.
Sorry, I didn't know I needed a 6-month fucking reservation. What the hell's a reservation?
So, quickly, and I'll touch up on this briefly, I would like to mention that the YouTube channel has just hit 400 subscribers. Have to cut in real quick. At the time that we did this, we literally did hit 400. However, upon completing the podcast and going to show Doug, I went and looked and saw that it dropped back down to 398. But either way, it was at 400 at one time, and I'm sure it'll get back there again. Numbers really don't matter as much as the support matters, so I appreciate all of that regardless.
You did it? Oh, that's gorgeous, dude. I didn't know that. You didn't tell me. When did that happen?
It literally just happened about 2 minutes ago.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah. Round of applause for you.
I love you. Thank you so much, man. Seriously, this community means the world to us. This is exactly why we're doing it. This is a big piece of it. The biggest piece of it is the fact that we get to talk to people like you and talk to people like you and have you respond to us, and just the community that we're growing is so cool. We just love you guys. So
yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I guess the person that hit 400, I think they looked at the subscriber number, because as soon I saw
it was the OCD.
it was one after another, because I saw so and so is, I think it's AKAN, something like that, or ATAN. I apologize. I'm not good with reading names. I will give you the proper shout out on the YouTube channel, but I saw that they subscribed to the channel, and then directly after that there was a comment that says, I'm your 400 subscriber.
Oh my God,
which is
crazy.
Pretty cool, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, this has meant the world to us. And actually, you know what? Since we're talking about our community, I want to thank somebody in particular. Laughing at Birds would not be as available as it is, meaning we wouldn't have all of the episodes up on all of these different platforms if it wasn't for the anonymous donation we received last month, basically allowing us to get on SoundCloud Pro, which allows us to upload hours upon hours upon hours of episodes. Before that, we were limited to 2 episodes being up on SoundCloud, which, not to get too technical, but when you try to put yourself on other platforms, they grab those episodes directly from your main distribution platform, which in our case is SoundCloud. And since we were only able to have a few hours up, which was 2 episodes worth for us, that's all that would show up on iTunes, Spotify, things like this. But thanks to that donation, every one of our episodes, all 11 episodes, is now available to the public through all those different platforms. So we really can't thank the community enough. There's no adequate thanks for it.
Seriously. And I'm pretty sure the person's initials were PC.
Was it PC?
I'm pretty sure, because I don't know if that person wanted to remain anonymous or not. We did talk about it on the podcast, and I cut a video for YouTube where I thanked the person, and I didn't get a response. There was no comment saying, no problem. So I'm assuming that the person that did it just did it because they wanted to support, or maybe they hit the wrong button.
Well, throw us a DM or something if you feel comfortable doing so, because we'd love to know who it was. I mean, it's just so damn cool. And if you never tell us, it's not like we're gonna get butthurt about it. But like, it's just we want to give you a proper shout out, because like that really is just amazing. And that's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to like overblow this. I'm not trying to, but it really, you guys have no idea what it does to us.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's that, and then there's also the fact that, I mean, in the world we live in, especially now, I think acts of kindness like that are far and in between.
Yeah, no, they are. And especially, like, there's so much content out on the internet already. There's so many podcasts. There's so much YouTube channels. The fact that there are people showing up and interested enough in what the hell, whatever nonsense is pouring out of our brains on any given day, and is willing to put money toward more of a flow from that place. Like, it's just, I mean, it's absurd in a way, but also we really appreciate it. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy that somebody said to themselves, you are worth my money.
Yeah, really.
And that's humbling as fuck. I mean, to say the very least.
You're not kidding. Which, oddly enough, that's a nice segue into a topic that I wanted to talk about. I was sitting in the house yesterday, and I was thinking to myself, a lot of people do podcasts, and I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I was thinking there's many different reasons why people do it. Like Rogan started his podcast as a hang. Yeah. Getting a bunch of people to come in and hang out with him. And then other people obviously do it for the revenue stream, or maybe they have topics that they feel like their takes are, important enough, or maybe a little bit different, so that they put it out into the world. And I got to thinking as to why podcast, why do this. And I think back, and to be honest with you, now I'm really gonna date myself when I say this, but
I would date you. You don't have to date yourself, baby.
Going back all the way to my childhood, dude, which is a long ride, not in years, but memories. I used to have something called a talk boy. Now, I don't know if...
Oh, from Home Alone?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I did too. My dad got me one for Christmas one year. We're fucking old.
Yeah, we are.
You can have lots of high-tech fun with Tiger's Talkboy tape recorder.
Hey, stop drooling on me. Hey, stop drooling on me.
It even has speed control.
Hi, kids, we're home early.
Hi, kids, we're home early.
Tiger's Talkboy tape recorder comes with audio cassette. Batteries not included.
Dude, which, by the way, you know, in the spirit of that, I just got an email today letting me know that the Slim Shady LP, Eminem's first album, is 20 years old.
God.
That's crazy.
Dude, that's nuts.
It's insane.
I think about that a lot when and I'm probably going to get bashed for this, but like one of my favorite bands is 311. And I remember the very first album I ever bought from them was their Blue album back in 1995. And I often think about the fact that as of next year, that album will be 25 years old.
Damn.
And I was coherent. Like when I bought that album, I had a mind of my own, independent thoughts. I wasn't a dribbling, stupid little baby. Like I went to a store and used my actual allowance money to buy that from a person behind the counter who I had an intelligent conversation with, completed a transaction, walked with both of my legs out of the store and got into my parents' car, and then went to hang out with my friends that day. I was a fully functioning human being 25 years ago.
See, I would walk in my father's old place where he lived at. There was a record store up the street, and me and my brother, whenever I would go over there, because there was split custody visitation and shit like that. Yeah. Anybody that comes from a busted up home, you're probably familiar with what I'm talking about, especially when you're a young child. But we made it a point to go up there at least once a month just to see what was hanging out on the shelves.
Yeah.
And just to be able to go through all the old albums and the artwork, the feeling. I feel bad in a way because the trade-off is much greater for the kids that are born now or that have been born in the last 18 years.
Yeah, what do you mean by the trade-off?
The trade-off of the internet versus being able to go to a record store and buy an album.
See, now you are making an argument for quantity against quality, though.
That's
in my
true.
opinion.
No, yeah, you're 100% right.
You're talking about accessibility being a huge plus, but the sacrifice with accessibility is quality.
Yeah, because, dude, for me, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, nothing matched up to the feeling of walking into a Sam Goody and FYE,
yes.
The Wall,
yes.
You know, a place like that, grabbing the album, and of course they had headphone stations, but I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah.
The
frustration of like going to a section that had a genre that you enjoyed, but either you had heard everything on the listening station already, or it was some tame shit that you wanted nothing to do with,
or they give you 10 seconds of a sample off of the album. Like, what am I doing with that?
Was that I don't remember. Was that a Hot Topic thing?
Hot Topic did it, and I think
Walmart did it too.
Walmart did it. Yeah. Sam Goody did it.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I think The Wall even had a place that you might be able to put a cassette in.
No, check this out. Okay, there are two stores that stand out to me.
Yeah.
For being my favorite fucking record stores. We're not going to forget. I don't want to deviate too far from this topic though, because this is a big one for me.
I got it written down too.
My two favorite stores were Camelot and The Wall, and the reason why was the Camelot was like The Wall's younger brother in the sense that sometimes you had to sort of negotiate with somebody behind the counter before they'd say, okay, I'll take it out of the case so you can give it a listen, provided you're fairly sure you're going to buy it. They would literally take an album off the shelf for you. Or actually, no, that's not true. In Camelot, it had to be opened already, but if it was open somewhere, they'd put it in and you could listen to the whole damn album. You could stand there and listen to the whole thing. The older brother, The Wall, was the best store.
Yeah, it was.
Because you went into The Wall, you grabbed a CD totally still saran wrapped, still completely in its casing on the shelf, and you said, "I'd like to listen to this, please." They would unwrap it right at the counter for you.
Yep.
Throw it in the CD player, and you could listen to that shit nonstop. That's how I got into. That's how I became a fan of Cradle of Filth, was being able to listen to one of their full albums.
Beautiful. I mean, dude, I still remember the first cassette that I think I ever bought from the wall.
Oh, I remember
was
mine. Go ahead.
Coolio's Gangster's Paradise.
Do you know what's wonderful about that?
What?
Yeah, just first of all, mine was rap as well.
Really?
You know what mine was?
What?
It was the Too Legit to Quit / Adam's Family single from MC Hammer.
Holy shit.
Very first cassette I ever bought.
That's fucking awesome.
Too Legit to Quit on one side, the Adam's Family theme on the other.
That's great, man.
Yep.
Dude, this is so old. The Gangster's Paradise single only had Gangster's Paradise, and on the reverse side of the tape was the instrumental.
Are you serious? Oh, that's...
Yeah.
See, I loved shit like that,
Me
though.
too, but that's just...
Yeah.
I think that shows you how old the platform... And I don't know if they still even... If artists do that now, where they would release an instrumental cut of a track that they do.
Yeah, no, I've heard a couple. I think there was actually... I want to say Nightwish has an album out that has a B-side that's all instrumental. But, yeah, I mean, artists still release EPs and stuff now. That's really what it is mostly. It's EP, because a lot of stuff is just... They're basically all digital now. But going back to the original topic of this, to me, the one thing I will forever miss in my life, and I mean, like, forever, like, it's not going to come back. It's just not going to.
Yeah.
I mean, it exists in spurts, but it's not enough to where, like, you can really even justify doing it often, like you used to have to. Going to a store like that, like a Sam Goody, a Camelot Wall, whatever it might be.
Coconuts.
And just fucking spending hours poring over the shelves, looking at all these different things. I remember I used to shop, for a while at least, exclusively by either record label or
artist
album art.
Yo, album art, that was a big one.
Album art was a huge one for me, dude. That's how I ended up finding so many of my favorite black metal bands. If the album art was good, I knew I was dealing with quality in some way, and it also went the same way with record labels. I would constantly look for metal. For me, it was like Nuclear Blast, Century Media, Roadrunner,
Metal Blade.
Say. Like, if I saw those on the back of the CD, I was like, okay, this is probably going to be cool. They were duds a few times, but that was also fun too. It was like doing an auction almost. Like, you didn't know what you were getting until you got it.
Well, yeah, because I was going to say, at one time, I think you correct me if I'm wrong, because you know a lot more than I do, but I think Roadrunner had Slipknot, Rob Zombie, all those guys.
I don't know about Rob Zombie. I know for a fact they definitely had Slipknot.
Because I know Zombie was on Geffen. I think he might have been briefly on Roadrunner, but my metal knowledge
White Zombie, I think, was on Roadrunner.
That's who I'm probably
White Zombie
thinking
was on
of.
Roadrunner.
Yeah.
They might have been on Geffen too, though. I'll have to look that up. But yeah, man. Oh my God. If I saw Roadrunner on something, you're talking, like you said, Slipknot, Machine Head, Fear Factory, like so many fucking amazing metal bands. If I saw that, or a Nuclear Blast, or a Century Media, which was largely dealing with like the European like thrash Black Death scene at the time, man, I was picking those up and fucking buying them.
And see, you just made me think of something too, was because with metal, you can kind of go off of the record label, but I think with rap, you really can't, because like somebody like a Def Jam could put somebody out like a DMX. It was
a 50-50 with Def Jam,
because they're just in it. They're in it for the money. It seems like maybe the metal.
You know what it was, and I mean it still happens today. Is a lot of these hip hop artists, they end up getting these posses with them, and then they'll toss their posse members just deals just to like give them something, to help them out. That's a very sort of community oriented sort of thing, hip hop,
which is great, but I mean, not everybody's not going to be great.
I'll take a shitty record for somebody to start doing well for themselves. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely. That's true.
Cool shit.
That's true. And I mean, I bought my fair share of garbage records.
Oh, dude, me too.
And a big thing that I did a lot back in the day when they sold CDs was I would either get my CD stolen from somebody that would say, "Oh, can I borrow this? I'll give it back, never see it again," and then go and buy it again. Yep. I think I had a small part in making a lot of artists go platinum.
Okay. So it's really, first of all, I love that it went there because I actually have a most rebought album.
Really?
For me, and it is Antichrist Superstar by Marilyn Manson.
Nice.
My mother fucking hated that I listened to Marilyn Manson. She did not approve of anything about him. She didn't even want me watching MTV back in the day. Like, it was
that was the big thing, right?
Yeah.
No MTV because of the grind.
Because that was what started it for me.
Yep.
And then I remember there was a music video that Madonna had put out where she was way like it was
sexual.
It was super provocative, and my mom saw me watching it one time. She's like, "That's it, no more MTV."
Meanwhile, she's sitting in the living room reading Danielle Steele.
Oh yeah, no shit.
Like, that's in the house, no problem.
Fucking, as long as it's a female writer talking about licking box, it's fine. But yeah, like, so a couple times, as you can probably surmise from what I just told you, I think twice total, she broke the album on me. Once by throwing it out the window, and another time by just straight up breaking it in front of me, which I thought was hilarious every time. It made me laugh. Like, I'm just like, you really think I'm not going to come up with $20 and get it again?
Yeah.
So I had to buy it twice off of her doing that, and then 3 times, and I'm not kidding, 3 times it was stolen from me. I lived in shit-ass neighborhoods for a long time. And by the way, I'm not talking about what you're probably thinking about, you racist
Sure.
prick. I lived with the whitest slobs imaginable. Like, just a bunch of dirty redneck jerk-offs that just constantly stole my shit. And then yeah, man, that was actually a regular thing too. I got a lot of albums stolen from me coming up. I remember I got the original Korn album and Life is Peachy stolen from me by some kid named Craig Voss. But then Craig fucking came around a couple years later. He saw me in the mall and he was just like, "Hey man, I'm really sorry. Like, let me pay you back for those albums." Like, he totally, like, he changed his path in life. And I was like, "That's awesome, dude. Don't worry about it. Thank you. That's enough of an apology, you know?"
Yeah.
So that was super cool. But I was really pissed at him when he did it.
I think I may have bought the Slim Shady LP 5 times.
Wow. Yep.
From it being stolen. Also, Dr. Dre's Chronic, the original album, not 2001. But, I mean, amongst however many other fucking albums I must have bought over and over again. Dude, I had such a range in my CD book, dude. People would come over and they would... I think that's like what people do now is they go through photo albums. Mm-hmm. When I had new people come over the house that a friend would bring over, the first thing they would beeline for is your record collection.
There was nothing like the CD book. There was nothing that more clearly said, "This is who I am," than your CD collection. See, I'm not even fucking playing, dude. You go to Facebook or MySpace before that, people had to type out their hobbies and interests. You could figure out who I was after a 5-minute perusal of my CD book.
Yep, because it explains everything about you.
Yes.
And you don't even have to be really music savvy to understand that.
I definitely used it for that reason. If I met somebody and I saw their CD book, I looked at their CD book and I was like, "Here, this is right where I decide whether or not I'm going to hang with you again."
Exactly, because I could figure out where you are, where your mind state is, what your personality is like.
And even if you're a little shitty, if you like basically like 90% of what I like musically, I'll find a way to get along with you.
Definitely. I mean, dude, I know we probably brought it up on the podcast before, but I mean, we met at a fucking ICP concert back in the early 2000s.
Totally by chance.
Yeah.
There was I want to say that, I'm not going to get too deep into this story because we're talking on CDs right now, and this is a great subject. I want to branch off of this a lot, but I believe it was you, somebody was going to the bathroom. I don't remember if it was you or your ex-girlfriend, and like we got into a quick conversation. You weren't immediately there. It was all the other person.
Right.
We were talking to them, but then she basically said, "Here, come meet my boyfriend Kevin."
Yeah.
So we came and met you, and I mean, dude, it was like instantaneous. Like within one fucking concert, Kevin and I became like the best of friends.
I still remember you handed me a business card. It was like, "Hey, dude, make sure you give me a call."
Really? I give you a business card?
Gave me a business card. Because I was like, dude, because I don't think cell phones like they were not then what they are now, or at least not for me.
What the hell was I doing at the time that I had a business card?
Property preservation, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I already had business cards for that shit?
Yeah, because you handed me a business card and you were like, my number's on there, so keep this. I'm not trying to sell you anything.
Yeah.
You know,
wow, man, I don't remember that at all. That's great. That's awesome. Oh, yeah, you know what? 2009, that makes sense. It's a year after I got into property preservation.
Yeah, what? Wait, not 2009.
Wasn't it 2009? Was it earlier?
Hell's Pit, I think, came out in 2003.
Oh, no, there's no way.
Hold on.
Yeah, no, because
2003.
Yeah.
August 31st, 2004.
2004.
That's when it came out.
Well, how long were they doing their touring for? Because there's no way. There's simply no way.
Let's, you know what? I got an idea. Let's see tour dates.
Hold on a minute. This makes no sense to me because no, there's no way I was in property preservation yet. And the reason I can say that with certainty is because when I was 23 years old, I lived up at my father's house, moved down to Tammy's and Scott's, and after I worked at Permapure for 2 years.
I may have the wrong business. It could have been Kitchen Magic. It could have been anything.
Oh, maybe I did have business cards for Kitchen Magic at the time.
Here we go. Sayreville, New Jersey, October 7th, 2004.
Shit, we have been friends for 15 fucking years.
October 7th, 2004. Holy shit.
Almost 15 years. 14 right now, but 15 as of October. Holy motherfucking shit. I can't believe that. That is wild as fuck.
The fucking wonders of the internet that I can go on and look up tour dates or something that happened so long ago.
Dude, by the way, tickets are available through Ticketmaster.
Bro, alright, do you remember how much you paid for your ticket to get into the concert?
Not even slightly.
I do.
How much was it?
$25.
Was that? Oh, that's all it was?
That's all it was. $25.
Who was the Mac 10? Mac 10 was the opener?
Mac 10 was there.
Yeah.
Isham was there.
Fucking ABK was there.
Yeah, dude, it was a fucking great. Look, all bullshit
I think
aside.
the only people that weren't there was Twisted.
Yeah, of
that
course.
was like basically the only one. Blaze was there.
Blaze was there, yeah. Dude, that was a fucking fantastic show, man.
That really was.
One of the look, all bullshit aside with the ICP music and all of that.
Oh yeah, no, go see ICP live.
Yeah.
They put on a fucking show, dude.
Yeah, fuck the music. You need to, especially, even if you've never been to a concert. Now, I don't know how much it's changed from when we went to now, but there was a mosh pit going on in the middle of the concert floor. And when everybody started forming a circle, I was scared shitless. I've never been to anything like this before. And she just leaves like, I'm trying to hold on to her like, dude, you know what's going on, and she's like, dude, get the fuck off of me, which that's a whole different thing, not even worth getting into. But I almost got sucked into the mosh pit, but one of the kids that was in the middle of it, swinging around, knocking people out, was like, wait, are you trying to be in here right now? I was like, no, I don't want to be in here at all. He was like, all right, cool. He's like, oh, everybody, hold on, man. We got somebody in here that don't want to be here.
Dude, that's the law of the pit, man. People, as crazy as it gets in fucking pits, people are honorable as fucking there. Well, hopefully. Some shows they're not.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that was when we first met. I remember the next day, I jumped in my Cutlass Sierra, my 1989 Cutlass Sierra.
That shit used to bang, dude.
Fucking drove, because I had that new system in it.
Yep.
Drove up to Freehold where you were living at the time.
Yep.
Sat on the hood on my fucking car.
Silver fucking haze.
Oh, silver haze.
Fucking haze.
Oh
dude.
My god, are you a narc? Fuck you. Give me the goddamn joint. That was fucking. Oh my god, that question pissed me off so bad. I'm like, did I really just spend hours with you the night before? Like, you're gonna ask me if I'm a narc now?
Yeah, for the record, that wasn't me. That asked that question, because I'm dumb, but I'm smart at the same time.
Well, she was flexing, dude. That's all that was. Like, fuck off.
You're not tough.
Yeah, but anyway, drove up there, sat on the hood of my car. I told him where to meet me. It was the Walgreens. It was right around the corner from where he was living at the time.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
So dude, I remember
this
like
shit
it was yesterday,
same
bro.
with me, dude. That memory. Ask me what the fuck I had for lunch yesterday.
Couldn't tell you.
Forget it. But you asked me what I was doing 15 years ago in Freehold. Gotcha. No problem, dude. That gray matter stayed.
I think it's just because it was because it
Huge
spawned
moment.
from such a crazy event. Like, who would have thought if you would have told me then, 15 years later, we'd be sitting here doing a podcast
It's crazy.
together.
Yep.
Nobody could have predicted that.
This is mind blowing enough to get me like really fucked up in the head right now.
Yeah.
It's just crazy how this shit works. I'll tell you, man, and you know. What a strong fucking friendship, dude. And the reason why I can say that is because Kevin's been one of those friends that, I mean, we lost touch for a decent 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if you could say that our friendship is like 14 years, because I'm pretty sure it's like 9, really, if you're going like non-consecutively. But this is how you know a friendship's strong. We go without communicating, completely fucking no communication for 5 years. I end up running into this dude on the road. Turns out to be Kevin, and we strike up like we had never stopped talking.
Yeah, hopped in the car and just carried on a normal conversation like nothing happened.
Like, it was just like, hey man, it's been a little while.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's been half a decade.
Yeah, but
you know?
didn't feel like it.
Not even a tiny fucking
Didn't
bit.
feel like it at all. Which, I mean, dude, to give you credit, you introduced me to Immortal Technique.
Oh, cheers. Dude.
Which is one of the artists that I still listen to today.
Yeah.
Which is great. I mean, the memories that I have of just hanging out when we used to go to Big Lots and buy Faygo and shit.
Yeah. Oh my god. Dude, you used to come to my house all the time when I lived in Whiting with my parents.
Dude,
or with my mother and my stepfather.
We had fun, bro. Because even back then, we were recording skits and shit.
Yes, we
trying
were.
to fucking
trying to
have
make
a
it in
good
the
time.
hip hop business too.
Yeah.
I was creepy. You were cryptic. We were
Oh
writing
my
our own
God.
fucking rhymes. We were grabbing beats off of some website. I can't remember what the fuck it was called.
Oh fuck, dude!
But we were recording over the beats. The beats were like these lo-fi. They weren't lo-fi when you listened to them, but
No.
we were recording them through Windows Media Player through the website, so it was coming out all
Dude,
fucking shitty.
First, how cool is that? Look, we're in a program OBS right now,
Yeah.
and using Audacity to clean the audio.
Which
And
yeah, go ahead.
to starting out working Windows fucking Media Player.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yes, and what's really fucking nuts about this, right, is Kevin wanted to sort of like express why he thought he was getting into podcasting. And this sort of leads directly into that. I want to come back to memory lane, but this leads directly into that. We have sort of always been obsessed with broadcasting, with getting our voices out there.
Yep. Definitely. I mean, dude, like I was saying earlier, man, I had a talk boy, and I remember this from when I was in elementary school only because of how badly I got in trouble for doing it. But my mom had, again, dating, my mom had answering machine tapes.
Mm-hmm.
And I recorded over her answering machine tapes, making my own outgoing messages to put on the answering machine because I think that she would think that that would be cool, and she was super pissed that I dubbed over them. But I mean, even all the way back then, dude, I wanted to get into radio. That was the one thing I always wanted to do. I was never much for the cameras and all that nonsense, but to be able to get behind a microphone and either talk music or just talk in general and with strangers and just be able to do all of that, man, is, I mean, I guess certain people are just made for it, other people aren't, I'm not sure, but I mean, I did look into a career in radio many years ago, and of course, it's one of those careers where you already have to be established to even be considered.
And I think, for me, the reason why I've always been interested in doing something like this, where it's a forum where I can just sort of speak my mind and like kind of just talk about what I'm interested in, and like have a good conversation with a friend about what they're interested in too. I know that when I was in school, and actually coming up a lot because of my parents and everything. I was expected a lot of the time not to sort of butt into the conversation and like add my 2 cents to things.
Definitely.
And, like, I don't want to rest too much of it on ego. I think I think most of it's because I've always loved broadcast radio, like talk radio specifically. Like
huge.
That it's always been a huge part. I've been listening to Howard Stern since I was young, and I'm talking like fucking 12, 13 years old because of my mother's boyfriend. He got me into that at the time. But like another piece of it is the fact that like I always felt so fucking weird with a lot of my interests too. So I was the silent one in real life, but like I always said to myself, one day I want to either be in a band or on the radio in some capacity, maybe on TV, so that I can actually like tell the world who I am and like really sort of leave my thumbprint of sorts somewhere, you know, which to me would like being able to broadcast out and just talk to people like you. Really, that's like the best legacy I could possibly imagine.
Definitely. And not to mention that, look, I know everybody and their mom has a podcast, but I'm at the risk of, you know, kind of bigging ourselves up a little bit. Mm-hmm. I kind of feel like we bring something to this that is not very...
I'll say other people do. I'll say other people do. Like, I'll say probably there's a decent amount of people do. But it's a good thing, and I feel like if you're looking at the totality, like the total of people that do podcasts, who knows how many of them are bringing their true, genuine souls to what they're doing. Right. You know, I'm not sitting here, and by the way, as a person that works or at least entertains the thought of working in marketing, you would think that one of the very first things on my mind is, okay, how valuable is my content? How likely is it to create new engagement with new audiences and stuff like this? It's not about that with me though. Like it really, for this podcast, I'm really just all about being able to have this platform to speak to you, Kevin, but also to speak to just everybody that's deciding to show up, deciding to rally around the stuff that we're putting out, and deciding to listen to what we're saying. Like that's the coolest fucking part for me. And I don't know if that comes from a legacy of feeling alone and sort of like easily forgotten, or if that's just like really just enjoying the company of others. But whatever it is, that's what this is to me. It's a way. And, you know, of course, would it be wonderful to make a living off this? Who the fuck would say that it's not? Or who the fuck would say that it wouldn't be great? But even if that took 10 years or if it never happened, I wouldn't care either way.
Yeah, exactly. I feel the same way. Probably for similar reasons that you do, of kind of being abandoned in certain ways, and then also the fact that I feel this is a place where, I mean, even outside of the YouTube videos, where I can actually get in depth with whatever my thoughts are and help somebody somewhere right now, when they hear this, might be clicking the play button, is going through some shit in their lives, or maybe they don't feel like they have that many people that they can really fucking hold on to, and they can play this, and like I feel the same way they do. Yeah. So, you know, I understand it.
And let me say this too, like a lot of this definitely stems from the fact that like Kevin and I have led lives where we've been made to feel like we're basically we're sort of forgettable. Like we've been told that, not necessarily through words, but through the way people like act around us or interact with us and things like this. And so this is our way of not being forgettable. And by the way, we're not, because of you guys. Like we just talked about how there's 400 subscribers now. 400. Do you know, I want you to see if you can find it online somewhere, where go look up what a crowd of 400 people looks like. Dude, that's a fucking crowd. I went to Manchester Township High School, right in Manchester Township, New Jersey here. I had 350 students in that school with me. I remember coming out from lunch and going through the main area, the common area, and I would see for a brief period of time all 350 of those people in one space. It's a ton. It's a fuck ton of people. So we have 50 more than my school had when I was there.
I mean, I would even venture as far as to say, I don't think I run into 400 people in my day-to-day activities going out and about into the world.
Oh yeah, like I certainly haven't interacted. I don't think I'll interact with 400 people in my lifetime.
Right, like, and
I really don't.
even,
Like an actual interaction, you know what I mean?
Yeah, or even passing people through in the stores that we go to or whatever it is.
Yes.
It's crazy to think that 400 people see me shooting my mouth off and go, all right, I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's insane, and people should really be questioning who they are. Like, I mean, that's...
No shit.
I don't know what gives you the compulsion to show up here. Jesus Christ. Talk to somebody. Sometimes it's free, depending on where you live. But, the main thing is, like, this... And, you know, I know it's not consecutive. I know we have 400 subscribers. We're not going to have... all 400 of those people listen to this episode, let alone the entire breadth of what we've done with the podcast so far. But it's just the fact that we even have, let's say, 6 to 8 people tune into 2 hours of this beautiful, beautiful personal nonsense. Like, and it's so fucking, it's gratifying in a way that can't really be described.
Seriously, I mean, to reach out and say that, you know, I'm listening on the train or through my work day or whatever it is. Like, dude, I do the same shit with other podcasts too or other shows. So yeah. I understand it, but I could never imagine, and obviously it's because it's us.
Yeah. But
to see, so I'm not cocky enough to sit there and go, oh yeah, somebody's definitely gonna want to listen to this.
No, we are still early on enough that there is nothing proven in what we're doing. Like, we don't have like even a metrics sort of based system yet where we could say, okay, this kind of content gets more views, this kind of content makes people drop off and stuff like this. And you know what? Fuck that anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if one person... This is what I think of, right? I think of just what Kevin was talking about too. It's like being able to have a conversation with people that you just really like to hear what they say when you listen to talk radio and stuff. If we can somehow solve that issue for somebody on their daily commute to work, fucking driving to the grocery store for something they don't need but their pain in the ass girlfriend needs, and they so they need that, like, boyfriend in my case,
depending on how much products they
liquor
use,
I've drank. Oh, yeah, okay, or you're somewhere else,
or that too.
Yeah,
or that too. But I figured I'd throw the Metros in there.
Yeah. Shout out Metros. Fucking shout out good taste. Just to be able to offer that brief respite to somebody and say, you know, let's just have a fun conversation together. Like, that's something that we've had done for us for so long by some of our favorite broadcasters. So, like, the ability to do that for even one person is so fucking neat. Like, it's neat beyond belief.
Not to mention that, dude, what we do on the podcast when the mic's not on, we do the same shit.
Oh yeah, you're getting the real article every time, as John Candy would say in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I'm the real article.
Yeah, you know? I mean, dude, we don't.
What you see is what you get.
Exactly. And
I don't remember the rest of that speech, but it's amazing.
A lot of people, and I know that there's going to be a lot of people out there that are not necessarily going to be into it, and that's fine, and I appreciate you for that. For the simple fact that it makes the people that do appreciate it that much more special.
You know what, Kevin? Future Kevin, I'm talking to you. Kevin, you can take a break. You earned it. Future Kevin, throw in that speech from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles later. Because that's... I mean, it's not exactly how I feel. I'm pretty sure he's getting tormented by Steve Martin in that moment. But, like, that's what we are.
You're no saint. You got a free cab. You got a free room. And someone who'll listen to your boring stories. I mean, didn't you notice on the plane when you started talking, eventually I started reading the vomit bag? Didn't that give you some sort of clue, like, hey, maybe this guy's not enjoying it? You know, everything is not an anecdote. You have to discriminate. You choose things that are funny or mildly amusing or interesting. You're a miracle. Your stories have none of that. They're not even amusing accidentally. Honey, I'd like you to meet Del Griffith. He's got some amusing anecdotes for you. Oh, and here's a gun so you can blow your brains out. You'll thank me for it. I could tolerate any insurance seminar. For days, I could sit there and listen to them go on and on with a big smile on my face. They'd say, how can you stand it? And I'd say, because I've been with Del Griffith. I can take anything. And you know what they'd say? They'd say, I know what you mean. The shower curtain ring guy. Whoa. It's like going on a date with a chatty Cathy doll. I expect you to have a little string on your chest, you know, that I pull out and have to snap back. Except I wouldn't pull it out and snap it back. You would. And by the way, you know, when you're telling these little stories, here's a good idea. Have a point. It makes it so much more interesting for the listener.
You want to hurt me? Go right ahead if it makes you feel any better. I'm an easy target. Yeah, you're right. I talk too much. I also listen too much. I could be a cold-hearted cynic like you. But I don't like to hurt people's feelings. Well, you think what you want about me. I'm not changing. I like me. My wife likes me. My customers like me. Because I'm the real article. What you see is what you get.
I'm writing it down.
No, it's fine. That you did perfect. I wanted that gap there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No,
oh, yeah. Duh. That makes sense.
Gives us like a nice. We'll be able to see it on the wave. You know.
Yeah. Not to mention that. I mean, I don't know why I wrote it down. I'm gonna listen back to this later when I edit it up. Anyway, but I mean, still, it felt good in the moment.
Yeah.
So that the future me doesn't look at the past me and go, "What a fucking asshole." He just sat there. He didn't even try.
He didn't even. What was he doing? He literally waited. He waited till I said something to act.
I mean, really? I need to ask you.
Future Kevin is so much more proactive than both of us. He's such a fucking business-minded guy. I like him a lot.
I need to ask you, after all this time that we've been together, I mean, you should be able to kind of read my mind a little bit.
Like, what happened? Why don't you like me anymore?
I mean, really?
I love you.
What the fuck?
I fucking love you, baby. Please love me back. Strike all that from the record.
No way. Nope. Whose chair is that? Who bought that goddamn chair here? It's not my chair. Not my chair, not my problem. That's what I say.
Yeah, so this is like, I mean, it's really something we've wanted to do for such a long time. And I guess this kind of brings me back to the negative point I was talking about before, which is like how the digital age has put, accessibility over quality. It's not true in every case. Like now also what comes with the digital age is everybody has the opportunity to have a voice. And if you're able to use that voice effectively and in a way that's impactful for other people, you have a chance to gather fans and like-minded people like we have to listen to us talk and to like reach out to everybody across the globe. We have so many goddamn UK fans on this channel. It's unbelievable. And 10 years ago, probably closer to 15 years ago, but like, let's say 10, 15 years ago, there was no like hardcore accessibility for me to talk to people in the UK. If I wanted friends from the UK, even through like the MySpace era, I had to like make friends with you first. I had to have a conversation and then, but now I'm the one showing up first and you're finding me and you're saying, okay, I'm interested enough in this. I can just join up with them. I can just be part of their content community now.
It feels almost like we're going into a random park somewhere and we're leaving a time capsule for people to go and dig up later.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's the internet is one big old archive, and like people are just happening to stop at our shelf and pull our book out. That's crazy. It's crazy. You guys found us. This is totally, and that's the other thing, man. We're talking about 400 organic subscribers. Like this is not, we did not advertise for this. This is not something where we went out of our way. We created some compelling titles on some videos on YouTube, and that was the start. Yeah, that's what kicked all this shit off. So I know we're rambling about the same thing over and over, but really, like, don't ever think for a moment it's lost on us that you guys have all gathered here to hang out with us. We love you just as much as we love our close friends.
I mean, really, dude, the other day I was sitting back and I was thinking, like, dude, how crazy would it be if we wind up getting to a point where we could do a fucking live show somewhere? But then I realized it would probably be the comedy equivalent of crowd work the entire time. Yeah. We would just be sitting and bullshitting with everybody in the building.
Be just hanging out. You'd see my real side come out. That's not good for anybody involved. I mean, I'm real on here, but Kevin will tell you, and like, might as well let this cat out of the bag. We do a lot of self-censoring here. And when we don't do it effectively, we go back and we fucking edit out. I promise you, some of the shit that Kevin and I have said collectively would get governments on us.
And that's the saddest part, is that you can't even make certain
It's always
jokes.
a fucking joke. That's the thing. It's always a joke, but we can't, in this age of, digital profiling, essentially, we can't take the chance at the outrage mob coming after us, because then that affects our real life jobs and relationships and shit. We can't do that. So like,
and the places where we live, because apparently now you do one fucked up thing on social media, as I would assume that this would be considered a branch off of that.
And by the way, I want to make it known, it's not like we're doing criminal things or saying anything that's arbitrarily fucking repugnant. It's just like, we always make it clear we're making a joke, but we get nervous with jokes sometimes because we've seen some of our favorite people get taken down because of jokes.
Right, like for example, the other day making a joke about my mom being autistic. If you've ever met the woman, you know clearly,
that was
like,
hilarious.
All jokes aside, she probably is an undiagnosed. But saying something like that, even if it is just for a brief second, we both
even if it's true that she's the kind of woman that would suffocate inside one of her pant legs.
Definitely. Holy shit. Oh man.
Dog bones are just savory cookies.
Jen knows about that.
Oh,
that
shit.
Fucking freak. No, dude, dead serious. She used to eat dog bones.
Oh, that's it. You got yourself a
Milk
nice submissive girl right there. Get her to start eating out of a bowl.
Yeah, really. Well, I mean, dude, can we bring up the fact that she fucking painted mustache and beard? But before I do that, real quick.
Oh, whoa, yeah, no, you don't just do. What the hell did you just do?
Yeah, real quick.
That's its own segment.
Before I even do that, let me finish my last thought by saying, even with a joke like that, as true as it is, we both kind of sat back and had a moment of, oh shit, is that too far now? Are people gonna feel a certain kind of way about that? And eventually we have to go, look, if we censored every little thing that we said, there would be dead air.
Let me just get it out of the way really quick. We know exactly what autism is. We know it doesn't work like that. We also know that Down syndrome doesn't work like that. We know that these people are capable of living their own lives. I mean, sometimes they need assistance, sometimes they don't. We understand that everything's on a spectrum too. There you go. We know the facts behind mental illness. We ourselves are mentally ill in our own ways, diagnosed, like actually clinically mentally ill.
That's what happens when you throw a chair at the doctor.
So, yeah, this is, I mean, that's what happens when your mom sees you cry more than a 13-year-old girl, even when you're 28. So like, like we know the facts, but we still joke around because making light of something shitty is also a great coping mechanism for us, and that's how we came up.
Definitely. I mean, come on, dude. I'm the kind of guy that cracks jokes at a fucking funeral.
Yes.
That's who I am as a person.
So it's only really, like, I guess maybe this can stand as our stamp on it. We're only ever telling a fucking joke, but I promise you this, we're still going to censor because I know that that's not good enough. People, once they've made up their mind about what you mean, they decide your intent now, so we have to be careful.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they're bigger, way people that are way bigger than us and are bigger than we probably ever will be, have gotten criticized for some of the most trivial shit.
Yes.
Like, it's sad that now you have to fucking come out and say, it's a joke. That should be self-explanatory.
It makes no sense to me that it's not self-explanatory. I gotta stop doing that. I always hit something when I'm making a big point, but like that really is. It's crazy to me that you hear something. You know, okay, I'm gonna deviate with this subject really fast. Yeah. I'm not gonna name names, but I remember back in 2011, I lived in Lanoka Harbor with a couple very good friends of mine, and we had some people over one night. And I think we were playing beer pong or something outside.
Yeah, dude.
And I said something, or somebody was doing well. I'm sorry, it wasn't beer pong. It was Cards Against Humanity. I remember this now. It was Cards Against Humanity, and I made a joke about somebody like with the cards or something about getting cancer or the AIDS, and I said like. I honestly, I hope you get cancer tomorrow. Like right. They did better. Oh, that's what it was. They did better than me on a hand, and I was like, please make sure to pick up your cancer out on your way out.
Yeah, and obviously you don't mean it.
No, of course, and everybody appropriately laughed except for 3 people. Ugh. And I saw this, and this was the first time I ever came up against this, and I got really worried, and I was like, fuck, did I really bother somebody with this? So one of my friends that I lived with at the time, she pulled me outside. She was like, Doug, I got to talk to you really quick.
Oh, that's the worst.
And I was like, okay. So I go outside with her, and she says, hey, listen, that girl inside, her father died of cancer. And I looked at her and I said, I'm not talking about her fucking father. I'm making a joke.
Yeah, not to mention that I have several family members that have died of cancer.
So,
and
me
cancer
too.
Jokes are fucking hilarious.
Me too. And like the AIDS, obviously, the point of that joke is you're doing something extremely trivial and unimportant, but I'm pretending that it's affecting me so badly that I want you to get a terminal disease. That's the joke.
Yeah.
I didn't walk inside and go up to this girl and say, I'm very happy your father got cancer.
Yeah, and you didn't put a needle in this person's arm that gives them fucking cancer.
This is like, and to have somebody react like that, to say, you don't, and this is what it was off of. She pulled me outside because that girl said something to her. And I was like, you don't get to decide my fucking intent. You don't get to tell me what I meant when I said something. I would never actually wish cancer on somebody, ever.
No.
That's the point. It's such an absurd reaction to such a small thing. So I got really fucking bothered by that, and it made me leave the table. I didn't want to play anymore because I was like, if I can't make jokes the way I want to make jokes, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be a part of this group right now, because obviously I'm being singled out. And having somebody tell me
what you can and can't joke about.
What basically I offended them whether I wanted to or not. Like they chose to take meaning from what I said and bring it into a personal space for themselves. I have no control over that, and I'm not going to stop being who I am.
Exactly.
So the kindest thing I could think to do at that moment was leave the group, and I did. But
fucking narcs.
Seriously.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the police.
Unbelievable.
Hair's falling out like leaves. Sorry, I did it again. I can't help myself.
What? It's still fucking funny.
Yeah, I can't.
Cancer's hold on. Let's break down the joke for you.
I probably have cancer.
Cancer's a terrible disease, and I don't even mean to say that sounded really douchey. Cancer is horrible.
That was like a little Bill Maher. Yeah. Cancer's a terrible disease.
It is a terrible disease, and unfortunately, people still get it in the day and age where you can send a dick pic to Tokyo when you live in fucking New Jersey. But
what a time to be alive.
Yeah. Look, again, I have cerebral palsy, multiple sclerosis. I can sit in here and make jokes about it instead of going around and be offended and go and say, I'm handy-capable.
Hey, somebody come and get me. I have depression, I have anxiety, I have Tourette's syndrome. Okay? I'm really bad memory apparently because I'm trying to access the rest of the shit in my head right now. ADHD. That's another one. I'm obese.
Bipolar in the house.
Yeah, I'm tripolar. I'm so bad.
Manic, dude. Manic.
So, I guarantee you, 100%. You come at me with jokes about that shit.
Come at me, bro.
I'm not gonna. If it's funny, I'm gonna laugh. That's how it works. If it's not funny, I'm gonna be like, that sucked.
Yeah, and also, you
what
know,
a fucking bum.
To play devil's advocate here for a second, did she ever approach you with this, or she just went directly around you and said it secondhand to somebody else?
She said it secondhand, and that made sense. She knew my friend way more than she knew me. I think it was actually like one of the first times we had an actual hang. And by the way, like, it's not like it lasted long. We ended up going to a fucking, I don't know how much they say. I mean, I think we're still friends. I don't know. We don't really talk, but
the point is that the world didn't end because you made a cancer joke, and I guess after she got to know you a little bit better, she realized that it was, you know, you're not
I would hope, I would hope she realized what kind of person I was. Like, I mean, this is what and that's another fucking crazy concept to me. What somebody jokes about in no way indicates the kind of feelings that they have. Like, it indicates their sense of humor. That's what it does. Yeah. You will understand their sense of humor. But as for, like, the deeper parts of their character, have a fucking conversation with them and figure that part out independently.
Exactly.
You know?
Which, I mean, I can understand her not wanting to go to you directly if she didn't know you, I guess, because that would seem like it would spark...
You know, that's weird. I'm glad she didn't do that.
Yeah, because I mean, I guess that's like a controversy thing happening, but at the same time, kind of feel like, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's no real delicate way to approach it, right? She can't come up to you and say, "Listen, you know, I had a family member pass of cancer, and you know, it really bothers me."
No, she would. I guarantee she would have seen that as a weird thing to do, because that really is like, you are. Even though you're saying it in sort of a remorseful voice, it's a confrontational stance. Like, you're really, like, you're coming at me saying, like, you suck for what you just said, no matter how cute you sound when you're saying it.
Yeah.
So, like, I understand. And listen, I understand, by the way, there's social etiquette. And let me tell you how this ended up happening in the first place. The people I was hanging around, 100% of them, except for this person, had the same fucking sense of humor, but they knew something about her that I didn't, which is what allowed me to stumble in the first place. Now, ask me this question. Were I to know that those things were in her family, would I have ever told the jokes? No.
Were you to know if you knew those things were in her family, would you have made those jokes?
No, not even, no. Of course, social etiquette would have dictated. This is probably not the best time to drop this bomb.
Right.
So I definitely would not have. But me not knowing and then being treated like, basically, I should have somehow intuited that had happened. Like, that was the ridiculous part of it.
You're supposed to go up the law averages at this point and be like, well, there's a good chance that somebody in this room's family member died of cancer, so maybe I shouldn't make that joke.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying, and by the way, that is self-policing on a level that's basically Orwellian. I'm not trying to fucking do that ever. But I do understand that my main point, and I want to conclude this because this is just like about rambling about how unfair shit is. My main point is, oh fuck, I forgot my main point.
Well, let me ask you a question, and while you try to figure it out, and if you can remember it, you can stop me. But does it matter whether the death would have occurred 10 years ago or if it occurred last week?
I don't know. That she'd have to answer that.
You know what I mean? Like, what, I'm saying in the realm of making jokes like that,
and then making a big deal out of it. You're saying?
Yeah. Like, is it?
No, I would
imagine.
I think for the offense mob, there's no. On it.
Yeah. Okay. So that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I think my overarching point is we do some self-censoring on here, and we do it because we consider that some people might take some shit the wrong way. But there are some things we are going to joke about unapologetically.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to feel bad every time I make an absurdly crude fucking joke about whatever. It doesn't matter if it's race, sex, religion. Like, I'm gonna do that sometimes. And if it's not well known after what we just said that it's a joke, then it's not on me anymore.
Yeah, no, that's on whoever decides to.
But that's not you guys. You guys are awesome. You understand us.
Yeah, that's for the random person that maybe just happens to come by and dust the book off they pulled on the shelf and then figured out, oh shit, they just said something that I really don't appreciate and or agree with.
And a responsible and a normal person's gonna say, better tune out.
Yeah, really, because you know what, dude? That's why we have the disclaimer in the beginning of this, and not to mention that, can we stop acting as if everywhere that you are going to go, people are going to cater to you? Your boss doesn't give a fuck what kind of day you are having. If he or she is going to give you shit, they're going to give you shit regardless of if you had a fantastic day or if your dog died an hour ago.
By the way, Kevin and I are heavily liberal, so don't even try to fucking come at us with, oh, they're neoconservative or alt-right or anything.
Yeah, dude.
Not even fucking close, man.
Here,
I believe in
bro.
equality for fucking every human being. I hate all you motherfuckers equally, I promise.
Yeah, exactly. Which, I mean, dude, it's fucking, it's insane. And it just seems to be getting worse and worse as time goes on. But that's the way of the world. Nothing we can do about it. The only thing we can do is draw that line in the sand for ourselves and go, this is as far as we're willing to take the censorship. And after that, if you don't like it, then just don't listen.
We will gently, pleasantly tell you to lighten the fuck up or go away. But anyway... Back to memories. So yeah, man, that the history, god damn, and I didn't even realize that we were 15 deep at this point. I mean, not yet, like I said, October, but like that's only 7 months away. Yeah, 7 months away. We'll be friends for 15 fucking years. And just the amount of goddamn shit, dude, that we've both seen, it really, like, it is miraculous. I know we discussed it before, but it was a chance encounter. There was nothing planned about us meeting up. I was with a score of friends that night. Like I had, and I don't care about giving out names. I was with Josh. I was with Dominica. I was with Jared, and Josh's stepfather. So like we were like 5 deep, 6 deep, something like that. If I'm forgetting somebody. And so I had plenty of people to talk to. I had plenty of people to interact with, plenty of shit to see because they were all in different areas. No matter whatever was going on, it's whatever. And it just so happened that I dipped out of the front of the stage at the same time that this woman did that was dating Kevin at the time. And she ended up getting into just a huge conversation with Josh and I. And we were just basically finding out that we had a lot of similar interests. Went and introduced me to Kevin, and that's history right there. I mean, and then Kevin and I have this whole separate fucking timeline of experiences that leads up to now. So it's just been such a fucking crazy, intense coincidence, like this whole thing. And that's really like why I love the chaos of life. Like you don't know how far or how many, you don't know how far the branch is going to go or how many branches there are going to be until they start forming. And it's just like, it's crazy. It's utterly phenomenal.
And I think I was with, I'm trying to think, Ryan was there, some dude, Ryan was there, Jewish Max was there. And I only say that because there were 2...
Wait, Jew Boy was there?
Jew Boy was there. He was at the concert.
No shit.
He's no bullshit. He smoked a blunt with Mac 10.
I thought it was just you and her.
No.
Oh wow, what the fuck?
He smoked a blunt with Mac 10. He's not a big rap guy, so he had no idea who he was. He smoked a blunt with him, and then the guy was like, here, you can take this. I gotta go do something real quick. Went up on stage and did his fucking set, dude. He had no idea.
Is that true, or did he just tell you that?
I mean, he told me that, but...
Okay.
Who knows? They like to float around in the crowd,
yeah.
So I would say it's fairly likely that it could have happened.
That's true. Josh's stepfather was having a huge conversation with Isham the entire time he was at the bar. Had no idea who he was. Had no clue who he was.
That's so cool, though, man. I really appreciate that. But, you know, those 2 were there. Reed was there, obviously.
Yeah.
Fucking, trying to think if anybody else... There might have been 1 or 2 other people. Forgive me if I forgot your name. Not like you care. You're not listening. It doesn't matter.
But the point is, we both had our people. Like, we had plenty of people to interact with and do shit with. And somehow, in the middle of all of that, we found a way to have this conversation that led to a friendship. It really, I said before that the friendship started that night. It really didn't. It started the next day.
Yeah.
Because that's when it became solidified. Okay, yeah, we want to spend more time with one another.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
And
just because, I mean, what did we have? A fucking 10-minute conversation? Because I think it was right before everything started wrapping up.
Yeah, no, it wasn't long, man.
It was like, all right, here's my card, my number's on there. Give me a shout, dude. I'll catch you later. We all got to get out of here before it gets crazy.
Yep, and it was through the spirit of what being a juggalo used to be that we ended up connecting. Like, it was just like, dude, you feel it just as deeply as I do, that connection. So let's see if we can foster this thing, and we did.
Which, by the way, I want to bring up what I was wearing that day.
Oh, I remember what I was wearing. I looked like a jerk off. Go ahead.
Do you? Okay, because I had a mishap. I used to work in ShopRite. For those of you that are out of the state, I'm not sure how many different places have a ShopRite, but it's the Winn-Dixie's,
it's
Publix,
the Piggly Wigglies, the
Lion's Head, the Blue Lion. I mean,
what's the W one? Wegmans,
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So I was working in the deli, and I was on the slicer. Some lady was talking to me, and I was not paying attention to what the fuck I was doing. This is totally my fault, on me completely. Yeah. I didn't put the guard up on the deli slicer, dude. So when I went down to cut the meat, I caught my thumb in the blade. Bro, it literally, I know people saying, like, when something is so sharp, you barely feel it. It felt like I stuck a thumbtack in my thumb. And I saw a tiny little drop of blood, and that was it. I made the mistake of pulling the glove off of my fucking hand and realized that I cut a decent chunk of my thumb off.
Oh my god.
Which, I mean, brutal. But the point is, dress code was black pants, white button-up t-shirt, because I got tattoos. Anybody been on the YouTube channel has probably seen it in one video or another. Yeah. But needless to say, I got blood all over my fucking shirt. And I thought
that was makeup. I'm not even playing.
See, that's what I had people stopping me in the crowd going, dude, how did you get your shirt to look so real? And I was like, oh, I cut a piece of my thumb off on a deli slicer. How quick they backed away from me like I had AIDS, dude, and you can catch it through me breathing the same air as you. It was wild. But, I figured, what's a more appropriate place than to go to an ICP concert and wear your fucking t-shirt with your blood on it.
Yeah, they're like, neat, can I lick it?
Yeah.
Fucking freaks.
So what were you wearing?
So I remember I was wearing I don't remember what t-shirt I was wearing. It wasn't of the band though. I'm not that guy. I learned that shit from PCU.
I don't know if you're aware of this, Gutter, but there actually was music recorded before 1989. What is this? You're gonna wear this to the show. You're going to wear the shirt of the band you're going to go see. Don't be that guy.
I was wearing...
PCU?
Yeah, it's a movie with Jeremy Piven. Really funny movie. You should check it out. It's an early 90s flick.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I think... what's his name is in it, too? John Favreau? I don't know. He might not be. Not important. I don't remember the clothes... I don't remember the clothes I was wearing. However, I do remember that I had on Shaggy 2 Dope makeup, and I was wearing a skull cap that looked utterly fucking ridiculous because it was about 1 foot too much off of my head. Because my hair was super fucking long at the time. So I looked like a jerk off. I have no problem saying that. Josh was essentially the same. I mean, he had Shaggy 2 Dope makeup too. Neither one of us wanted to be Violent J.
Dude, I another vivid memory that I have from the concert is 2 of them.
You getting drowned by Fago?
Well, yeah. That one, which... if you've never been to a concert, you have no idea who ICP is, I feel like we should mention this because it's a big deal in the concert.
Yeah.
Fago is a soda that's made, I believe it's out in Detroit.
It is
where
Detroit.
The factory is, right? Yeah. So it's a cheap soda that they make. It's basically the Walmart brand, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
So they should have stock in this fucking company, how much of this shit that they use.
They wanted nothing to do with them, believe it or not.
Yeah, not at all. They were upset that they even buy their product.
Meanwhile, ICP is probably responsible for most of their revenue.
I would definitely argue that. Outside of the random buy at the store when somebody goes for a 2-liter and don't have much money. When you're counting your change, dude, I get that. But they have trampolines on the stage, and what they do is they shake up the 2-liter to get it all nice and fuzzy, and then they'll rip the cap off and bounce it on the trampoline so that it goes, and when the soda shoots out, it flies out into the crowd. And it just so happened that a bottle of root beer hit me in my right temple, man. I grabbed that shit out of the air, started drinking it, and then tossed it to somebody that else was in the crowd. I was like, hey man, let me get some of that. Threw it to him. That, and then the other memory was we were just outside of the mosh pit. Me and a couple other people I've never met before in my life was like, hey, do me a favor, hold your hands out. I was like, okay. Dude, he pulled out this weed. I will never forget this as long as I live because I've never seen it again. He called it Decemberfest. It was all red. All red with white hairs. And it tasted like watermelons.
What the fuck?
Bullshit.
That's crazy.
He was like, bro, this is Decemberfest. It only grows between October and December. And, you know, it's the only time. He literally took the buds out, broke it up in my hands, rolled a joint, and we just stood there and smoked it inside the concert. It's so cool, man.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah, man. That concert was chock full of fucking memories for us too.
Oh shit! I got another story, but I want to give you a chance to throw anything in there that you want to bring up.
No, there was not. So there were just a lot of really great interactions there that night.
Did you meet anybody else there that you're in contact with today, or maybe were briefly in contact with?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Unless I was and you know something.
No. I don't mean people that I knew. I mean just other people that happened to be at the concert that maybe you ran into.
No, nobody. No.
That's so crazy, dude. So like, come on, dude. That makes it even crazier.
Kevin, you know I love you, right?
Yeah.
Like I love you a lot. You're one of my best friends.
Yeah.
If you spit on my arms one more time while you're talking, I'm going to pour sand down your throat to dry up every fucking spit gland you have. My arm is now. It went from inconvenient to moist.
I'm sorry. That's gross. I'm sorry. That is nasty. I don't mean to.
It's all good.
Oh God. You know what, dude? I gotta.
There's more content, but like
2 buttons.
It is just like I feel like.
And then the last one, because you know, every time something gross happens.
Oh, that's nasty.
I feel like I rested my arm on a humidifier. Like, it's just cloudy with a chance of Kevin.
Oh, no. So, okay, since you have nothing else you want to add.
No.
Since we're on the topic of weed, and I know that I brought it up. And now I find myself putting my hand over my mouth a little bit just to put a guard up, and I know I.
You know what? I approve of this self-consciousness.
But you know, I'll do it like this.
No. You gotta have access to the mic.
Okay, so since we're talking about weed, again, before I cut my thumb off, or maybe after, I don't remember. Either way, when it happened is not important. It's what happened that made it so great. I happened to be outside of this person's house that I was crashing at in Freehold. She knows who she is. Not going to mention her name because I'm quite sure she would not want anybody to know that there was a point in time where she was associated with me.
Well, I'll do a little hint. The first part of her name is Daya.
Wait a minute.
Think of what her nickname is.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about her friend, the tall one. Real tall, used to be kind of heavy.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name. Oh,
Sam.
Yes. Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Which is not like I'm saying her last name, and probably nobody that knows her is listening anyway, but I was crashing at her house for a while, so appreciate her for working me into that system, even though it turned out bad.
Yeah.
But I'm outside, I'm having a smoke, dude, and it's Halloween, so I have the ICP face paint on.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Going to dry your arm off?
You just spit on my lip.
Oh, shit. Jesus Christ. I don't know why I'm spitting so much. Man, I feel like I gotta back away now. Hopefully he doesn't throw up. Because that would ruin my fucking day. Jeez, I know he's in the bathroom right now looking in the mirror thinking...
No, 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 no!
Oh, that's terrible. When he comes back in here, maybe I should hit him with the sexy button.
Do me a favor, cut that part out, because I don't want people thinking I'm like shitting on you and stuff. I'm not trying to be mean. It hit me. So like,
no, dude, bro, I would leave it in only because you know what? That's disgusting.
No, I don't. Yeah, but I don't want people thinking you're gross. Like, just don't get that.
It's
shit
just
out there.
I don't even know why it's happening.
You could honestly, I've had nights where I just salivate a shit ton. Like it just happens sometimes.
Yeah, but
don't worry about it.
So I'm out there. I'm having a smoke. I got the face paint on, and a Spanish dude goes walking past, and he sees the face paint that I have on. I think I was smoking a joint, if I remember correctly. So he starts to walk past, and he stops, and he yells something to me in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
I try talking back to him. He don't speak English.
Oh, God.
So we're trying to have a conversation. It's not working out.
Yeah.
Either way, though, only thing he can say is smoke. So I go, well, if you want some, I'll smoke with you.
Yeah.
So, we smoke a little bit, and then he winds up, dude, he pulled, I don't even know how long this would be. Maybe
God, that's like decent 6 inches, probably like 5-6 inches.
He pulled down a 6-inch joint out of his pocket.
Yeah.
We just sat there smoking it, and every time one of us would call up, the other person would just look at it and be like, definitely.
That's badass.
We didn't even have to have... We'd connected two people that otherwise would have never connected.
It's the great unifier.
Great, dude. And I know that story doesn't sound like a whole lot to probably an outside party that wasn't involved.
That sounds great. Yeah, man. That's like that's something that stands out.
Amazing memory.
That's cool shit, dude.
Back when you would go to the fucking corner store and try to tell the guy behind the counter to give you a Dutch or a Philly with no veins in it.
No veins? I never heard that. What is that?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? Like crinkles?
Yeah.
Is that what? Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
because when you would try to peel the leaf off of it, it would break.
Yeah,
and then your whole blunt would be shot.
Oh my God.
Which, if I could go back in time, cigarettes and all the blunts that I smoke would be two main things that I would take away, because the amount of damage I probably did to myself back then, thinking that, smoking blunts, that's what everybody likes to do.
Dude, I'll be honest with you, the smell of blunts makes me gag now.
Dude, I can't
handle it.
The last time I hit a blunt, I got a migraine for 2 days. I can't do it anymore.
Dude, I'm at the point with my body where any sort of hardcore substance I can't get near. I can't do it. The only exception being pills, and that's because it's the time to release sort of thing.
Yeah.
Anything that immediately affects you, I can't do it. Literally every time, it doesn't matter what it is, it makes me nauseous.
Well, wait a minute, because since we're talking about weed, I don't know how much you want to say, but you went to Cali. If you don't want to talk about this, we can cut this out. But you went to Cali for a job opportunity, and you went to a dispensary.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't mind talking about that. That's fine. Yeah, so I went out to Cali. I'm not going to say the name of the company, but they were basically looking to hire me for a content writer position, developing new content, specifically email content for marketing purposes. And yeah, they flew me out to San Francisco. So I was only going to be there for a day, but I got in reasonably early the first day that I was there. So, I did what any sort of tourist in a new place would do, and I walked around San Francisco. I got to know the area, and I ate locally and sort of took some pictures and everything. And one of the things that I had forgotten but then immediately remembered once I was walking around is, oh yeah, it's totally legal in California to enjoy marijuana recreationally. So I found out that the Filipino place that I was eating at, there was a
Wait, shout out to episode 1. Bring it back all the way to fucking pork adobo, dude. When we were trying to come up with a fucking topic.
Oh my god, that's right.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Sorry.
No, that's perfect. There was this great little shop right across the way from this Filipino place called Barbary Coast, and they, I mean, I had been in weed shops, recreational weed shops before, because I had taken a trip to Colorado a couple years before
I
that.
never have, and I envy the fact that you have been in several now, having gone to Colorado and California. You are living my dream. I am living vicariously through you.
The word he was looking for, by the way, was vicariously.
Oh, shit.
I know you probably heard that as bi-curiously, because that's the word Kevin definitely had in his head when he said vi-curiously. But the word is vicariously. So yeah, I went across the way. Well, actually, I didn't right away. What I did, I saw it and I was like, okay, it's the day before you have probably the most important interview you'll ever have in your life, so why don't you not be a fucking idiot? And I decided to just call it a loss, go back to the hotel, hang out, do what I had to do.
Yeah.
And then I'm pretty sure I had a conversation. I don't know if it was with
you called your girl.
I called my girl.
And she was like, dude, you are, if I remember you telling me correctly, you said that she told you, bro, when in Rome, fucking partake in a gladiator sport. That's not what she said per se at all.
No,
but
when you're in, she said, when in Rome,
eat some weed.
And then she had a stroke. So yeah, when in Rome, eat some weed. So she basically convinced me to, like, Kevin was right. She was like, dude, you're in fucking San Francisco. It's legal there. Stop. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna give it a shot. And I grabbed an Uber, went back down to Barbary Coast. Dude, shout out the fucking Barbary Coast. This is what I was getting ready to say. I had been to weed shops, recreational weed shops in Colorado. Some of them wanted to look like Apple stores. Other ones wanted to look like pawn shops. Like, it didn't matter what the fuck they were. They were all extremely sort of, not only were they extremely careful with how they admitted people, they were also kind of uptight. At least that was the experience in the ones that I went to. I'm not going to say all of them were like that out in Colorado, but it was sort of very, you felt like you were still doing something very wrong by going to them. And then when you would get into the shop proper, where, like, especially for the one that looked like an Apple store, they had people following you around. They called themselves bud tenders, and they're like, oh yes, you'll see our OG Kush over here, and over here a nice assortment of edibles and things like this. Well, Barbary Coast was like just this totally fucking laid back, super friendly place. Like, I mean, I really can't say enough about them. There was a dude at the door, and I had struck up a conversation with him because once I got there, I started having doubts again. I was like, dude, I got this interview tomorrow. I also knew that I don't respond well to mind-altering substances anymore. Like, I get very anxious and stuff. So I basically needed somebody to tell me, okay, no, this is going to be okay. You're going to have a nice time. Well, this dude couldn't have been more understanding. One of the first questions he asked me is like, he was like, do you smoke weed often? Do you are you sort of a beginner? And he went down this line of questions. I was like, well, I'm not a beginner. I used to smoke a lot, but it's been years since I have, and I just know what it does to me now. I get very anxious from it. He was like, dude, totally understand. We get a lot of people in here like that. And he said, why do you think you want to try it tonight? And I said, because I know that it helps with anxiety, and I want to make sure I talk to somebody before I buy, because I want to make sure whatever I'm going to be taking or smoking, whatever it is, it's going to help me just relax tonight and sort of like clear my mind, because I have a big interview with a tech company tomorrow. And he was like, dude, don't worry about it. I'll hook you up. He was like, why don't you come inside with me, and I'll take you over to this thing here, and you just have to fill out some info. So he takes me up to this tablet that's hanging up in the place, like an iPad, and it literally has. First, of course, they do like the onboarding thing where it's like your name, your phone number, your email,
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you about that, like what the process is. You have to give your license and shit because you're out of state. Do they give you an issue or they
absolutely
don't care?
not? It was like that in Colorado. They needed me to take a photo in the fucking place. I hated that. The Colorado ones I did not like. Here, they're like, if you give us your name, email, and phone number, guess what? You're going to get 10% off of whatever you want in the store. I'm like, that's fucking awesome because it's, you know, it's not exactly cheap to get weed. So I get 10% off by signing up for this thing. And then it literally asks you, what are you looking for? Something to smoke, something to eat, something to drink. And I'm like, something to eat.
What a wonderful world we live in. Something to drink.
Anyways, I'm your girl Trina Lee, and you're watching the We Shopping Network on WeTV. All right, now as you can see, we got the type of weed to make the chronic, the stress, and the endo. And let's not forget the pretendo for those who ain't got the dough. A new product, chronic candy. Every lick is like taking a hit. Call us, don't be afraid to call us at 1-900-4-WEED-TV.
I remember being a little thug, we really didn't know what it was. Then I took a puff and I realized I should always stay. The weed makes me feel alright. If you feel like I feel, I got half on your dime. If you got weed smoking, I'm a real weed smoker. If it's mine, then I would. Since it's yours, you could, you should. If I ain't there when you blaze a blind nigga.
I take this back. I'm sorry. There was a question before that. Why? Basically, like, why do you want to have weed? And there was a question on there to chill out and clear my mind. So I put that one on there. They said, have you been smoking frequently lately, or do you smoke very rarely? I put rarely. It automatically suggested to me that I go and talk to the edibles guy at the back of the store. Well, I was like, okay, every fucking thing I hear about edibles is they are like 100 times more potent than... Yeah. So I'm like, I feel like that's not the right answer, but whatever, everybody's been nice to me so far. I'll roll the dice and at least have a conversation with this guy. So I walk through, the place looks like a fucking bar. It just looks like a really nice downtown bar in any sort of city, except instead of just being drinks, which I think they also had too, they had like just a bunch of different sort of weed paraphernalia and weed itself lined down, all the way lined down, like different strains, different fucking colors, different strengths, sativa over here, indica over here. And like, it was just, I mean, it was, the 18-year-old Doug was walking through Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Like, yeah. I was like, holy fucking shit, this is the promised land. Well, I walk right to the back and there's this dude named, you know what, I don't remember his name and I don't know that he would love me telling that anyway, but I walk to the back and this guy, he's standing there. He's got a cooler behind him that has a bunch of different soda drinks infused with weed. And then he's got a bunch of edibles off to his right-hand side. And he's like, hey man, what's up? How can I help you? And I was like, all right, man. So like, I haven't smoked in a long time. I have a big interview tomorrow. I just kind of want to chill out tonight. So I want something that's going to help me like relax and kind of kill my anxiety for a few hours. He was like, say no more, dude. I got you. And he fucking went over and he grabbed these blueberry and lemon cream edibles. They were gummies. And he said, now give me a moment too, because I don't remember exactly. I think he said each of them was 5 milligrams, 5 milligrams of weed.
Yeah.
And he said, since you don't smoke a lot, he said, I would say you start with 5 milligrams, just eat one. And he said, if after an hour you're still feeling okay, eat another one. He said, after that, leave them be. He said, that's going to be perfect dose for you. Somebody who hasn't done it in a while, somebody has a problem with the effects of it. Like, this is a nice indica strain. This is just going to chill you out. And I'm not really buying it yet because every interaction I've had with weed in the past 10 years, I've not had a good time. So I'm like, you're absolutely certain this is not going to fuck me up. Like, I'm not going to lose sleep tonight. I'm going to be able to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for my interview tomorrow. He was like, dude, honestly, if you come back here tomorrow and you tell me that interview got fucked up for you, he was like, not only will I give you your money back, he said, I'll give you an extra $100 on top of it. He said, I'm not trying to fuck you up here. So I said, all right, dude, I'm going to give it a shot. And I said, thank you very much. Went back to my hotel room, ate one, waited about an hour and 10 minutes, didn't really feel much of anything. Turns out these fucking gummies were delicious, so I was all too excited to eat another one. And I downed it with fervor. I was very excited to do so, with vigor, if you will. And it was, I'm not even kidding, probably about 10 minutes after I ate the second one.
The first one kicked in?
It started coming in, but dude, I am telling you right now, it was delightful. It was, because the whole process was gradual. There was no, anybody who smokes weed knows, like you smoke, you get maybe, especially, you know, the strength probably in the past 15 or so years, you get maybe 2-3 puffs in, you're already flying fucking high. This is not what happens, or at least with me, this is not what happened with the edibles I got. It was this gradual, like, almost like an extended relief pill. Like it came in and I was just sort of fuzzy for like probably a half hour, and it was this pleasant, like positive, oh my God, like I just feel like I have all the weight off my shoulders right now. Then you get to the 45-minute mark, like, and the buzz gets a little bit stronger, and now I'm just really happy and sort of giggling, and like there's not a single fucking problem in the world. Then I get to an hour and 15 minutes. And an hour and 15 minutes is looking like, very differently. I want to get off the ride. Actually, not at all. Dude, I'm telling you right now, the gradual nature of it made it so that it wasn't as extreme as it would have been if I smoked. But I noticed it was a noticeable difference once I was like almost an hour and a half in the sense that everything started slowing down. And like all of a sudden I'm hearing every breath in my lungs. I'm feeling every fucking joint, shitty old joint in my body. And I'm like, okay, I can tell I'm hitting a point that might not make me the happiest person alive. Yeah. So this is what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. I'm going to, no, I'm sorry. Okay. So yeah, no, never mind. This came after. But at the top of this list, the top feeling of this whole thing was extreme, unreasonable, and totally need to do something about it. Hunger for shitty snacks. Like, there was no, and I felt such not goodness when that happened, because I was like, oh no, there's no way I can talk myself out of this right now. Like, I am definitely about to go and hunt for food. And it was late. It was like fucking 12:30 at night. I knew full fucking well most places except for like some 24-hour convenience stores were going to be closed. Would you believe my fucking high ass, I'm paranoid as fuck at this point, but like not as bad as I've been in the past with smoking. Like totally.
Probably because you know it's legal.
Yeah, and plus it's totally manageable. Like I'm telling you, the crux of my story is, and I'm going to finish telling the story, but the crux of my story is the whole high was manageable compared to any other time I've smoked it in the past, which was wonderful. But I'm a little bit panicky because I know I have to walk past a bunch of people in the fucking lobby of my hotel. Not thinking to myself, of course, 99% of the people visiting San Francisco that day are like, dude, I'm going to do weed legal. You know, I'm fucking doing it legal now. This is all, nobody's going to give a shit about what I'm up to, but I got weed brain. So I'm just like, they're all going to look at me. SWAT team's going to kick in the door. I'm going to be
Tim
fucked.
Roth in Reservoir Dogs when he's leaving the bathroom.
Yes, with the cops. Yeah. Yep. Exactly fucking that. Future Kevin, throw a little bit of that story in there.
And this particular story takes place in a men's room.
This was during the Los Angeles marijuana drop, 1986. I still had a connection, which was insane, because couldn't get any weed any fucking where then. Anyway, I had a connection with this hippie chick up in Santa Cruz, and all my friends knew it. This is a very weird situation. Because I don't know if you remember, back in '86, there was a major fucking drought. Nobody had anything. People were living on resin, smoking the wood in their pipes for months. This chick had a bunch. And she's begging me to sell it. So I told her I wasn't going to be Joe the pot man anymore, but I would take a little bit and sell it to my close friends. She agreed to that, said we keep the same arrangement before, 10% free pot for me, as long as I helped her out that weekend. She had a brick of weed she was selling. She didn't want to go to buy alone. Her brother usually goes with her, but he's in county unexpectedly. What for? His traffic ticket's gone warrant. They stopped him for something, found warrants on him, took him to county. Now, she doesn't want to walk around alone with all that weed. I don't want to do this. I have a very bad feeling about it. She keeps asking me. Finally, I said, okay, because I'm sick of hearing it. Now, we're picking the guy up at the train station.
Wait a minute. You go to the train station to pick up the buyer with the weed on you?
Yeah, the guy needed it right away. Don't ask me why. Anyway, we get to the train station, and we're waiting for the guy. Now, I'm carrying the weed around in one of those little carry-on bags. I gotta take a piss. So I tell Connection I'll be right back. I'm going to the boys' room. So I walk in the men's room, and who's standing there? 4 Los Angeles County sheriffs and a German shepherd.
They're waiting for you?
No, it's just a bunch of cops hanging out in the men's room talking. When I walked through the door, they all stopped what they were talking about, and they looked at me.
That's hard, man. That's a fucking hard situation.
German shepherd starts barking. He's barking at me. I mean, it's obvious. He's barking at me. Every nerve ending, all my senses, blood in my veins, everything I have is screaming. Take off, man. Just bail. Just get the fuck out of there. Panic hits me like a bucket of water. First, there's a shock of it. Bam! Right in the face. I'm just standing there, drenched in panic, and all these sheriffs looking at me, and they know, man, they can smell it. Sure as that fucking dog can. They can smell it on me.
So I get through the lobby. What I didn't tell you before is I'm not gonna name the hotel either. I don't want to make this too specific. But fuck it, the Stanford Court Hotel in San Francisco. I walk out one of the side entrances where they have like their little I don't know what it's called, like alcove where you go in the front doors. I go out there, I make a right onto the sidewalk, and I make another right, and I proceed to walk down steep San Francisco fucking hills, man. Like it is like almost I'm gonna conservatively guess 20 to 25 degree fucking angle. Walking down, trying to keep my balance while I do this. The momentum of I'm a fat fuck, so I'm top heavy, so my body's trying to move ahead of my legs. Like I look like a cartoon because I'm high as shit and I'm trying to like maintain not high as shit balance the entire way down the hill. I get to the bottom of the hill and I see as if an angel opened its wings before me, a convenience store that is stacked to the fucking ceiling with garbage food, and I'm just like, yeah, that's what I need. This is what I need right now. So I walk into this fucking store. Don't pay attention to any fucking like anybody on the road around me. I am tunnel vision at this point. I walk over to the fucking the thing, whatever the fuck the shelves are. I get 2 Toblerones. I get another fucking bar of something. It's oh shit, I want to remember this brand so bad. They do a lot of fucking hazelnut stuff. And they're these square bars. Ritter Sports. I get a bar of Ritter Sport cookies and cream. And then I get a gigantic bottle of green tea. Because I like lying to myself. But also because I thought to myself, there's no way water's going to be refreshing enough. I need to do something more quenching, which is in my head for some reason at that very high moment, I said green tea is going to do the trick.
Yeah, but not a good mix with candy, though, I would imagine.
Nobody would ever disagree with you. But that's not who you were dealing with that night. You would have been dealing with me, and I would have said, fuck you. So I grab all these goodies. Oh, and a bag of pork rinds just to, round it out and make sure I really fucking die in my sleep. And I go up to the counter, fucking slam it all down on the counter. Somehow,
heart disease.
Surprisingly fucking inexpensive. Like I walked away. I think I only spent like $11 on all this stuff, which I was very happy about because it's San Francisco. Everything's expensive. Not considering
the walk back, which is now I have a fucking bag of garbage and I have to walk all the way back up this fucking hill. Folks, I'm not light. I'm not a light person. It is really bad news. I'm still sweating from my descent down. That's how bad the health is right now. So I have to step outside. I'm walking up this hill and thankfully, high brain put me into robot mode. It was just, your mission is get up back to your hotel. I wasn't paying this shit.
I was not paying attention to the muscle strain, to the sweat pouring down my face, to the fact that I probably stopped breathing twice on the way back. Cut through, get up to the top of the hotel, go into my room, and I said, but I had this all planned, but the plan kept layering, and it was like, dude, I've never felt like it was like a beautiful mind, like Russell Crowe. I was like, dude, I'm seeing equations in front of my eyes, and I'm like, you know what though? Fuck eating the candy right now. There's something that needs to happen before that. I proceed to take the world's longest shower. I alternated between cold and hot so that I got all these different sensations of wonderful feeling. But of course, the longest part was the warm. And like, I'm just sitting there and I'm just glorifying in it. This is a fucking hotel. I don't care about the water bill. I'm just like getting drenched. And I'm holding my face up to the fucking water. I got my head under the water. At one point I lay down in the fucking tub and I'm spread-legged like a whore, fucking letting the water cascade down my dick and balls. Like I was in my element, man. And I have never felt such sincere pleasure from a shower. Step out of the shower, dry off,
candy, man.
sit on my bed, butt-ass motherfucking naked, and I watch CNN while I eat all of this fucking candy and drink this tea, and I go to sleep. It felt like my mother was cradling me in her arms when I fell asleep that night. I am telling you, if you get a chance, and I'm going to reach out to them, I'm going to see if I can reach out to them on social media and talk about this particular moment. The Barbary Coast. They're out in downtown San Francisco. I am totally recommending this place to people. Okay, so this is the shout out to the Barbary Coast. They are at 952 Mission Street in San Francisco, California. You go into that shop for the first time, they're going to have you go over to the tablet, put your information in, they're going to get you a bud tender that's going to help you out. And when you give them your information, you can opt out of the text messages anytime you want, but they will send you text messages. But dude, they send you text messages with these insanely good fucking deals. I think I walked out of that store with this gigantic fucking thing of gummies, 30 or 40 gummies in this thing, maybe even 50. And I think it was only like 10 or 15 bucks. Like it wasn't a lot of money at all. It might have been a little bit more than that. I might be exaggerating.
No, because
didn't I say it was like 15?
Yeah, I think you said it was 15.
Yeah.
15 to 20 max, dude. I'm pretty sure is all that you spent.
I am telling you, fuck the fact that it's a weed place. Like, this is just the kind of business you want to fucking go to. Nothing but friendly, outgoing, personable, casual staff that will fucking have this conversation. Dude, I'm an anxious person. They'll have a conversation with you that will make you feel immediately at home.
And I was gonna say, did the relaxed environment really help you to make the decision to go with it?
Yes. Yeah, abso-fucking-lutely. Like, I had already sort of made up my mind that I was going to walk away with something, but but it definitely wasn't edibles when I first got there.
Yeah, and you might have bought weed and had a terrible time.
What I was planning to do, because they had a lot of these in Colorado when I went to the dispensaries in Colorado, they had pre-made cones.
Yeah.
And I knew, I had already known I wasn't going to do sativa. I was going to do indica because I needed to relax that night.
Yep.
So that was the only idea I had in my head. I had an indica cone in my head. I was like, that's probably what I'm going to walk out of here with. And this time, unlike Colorado, it's going to be smaller because the ones I smoked in Colorado were fucking huge.
I remember those pictures.
Yeah. So like that was a little bit too much for me then. Nope. Ended up walking out after getting taught. And this dude, I mean, he totally fucking, the hype he delivered to me was completely and utterly fucking legit. I never had a single bad experience. I did not have one single bad experience while I did this weed. I went to that interview the next day. I fucking crushed it because I felt great from the night before. Dude. Got an amazing night's fucking sleep. A little bit of agita because I ate a bunch of fucking chocolate before I went to bed. But like that had nothing to do with the interview. Like it was just the whole fucking thing, start to finish, was amazing. Barbary Coast Dispensary, I fucking love you. And seriously, thank you so much for just being this amazing company full of really, really great people.
And also for giving you the opportunity to come back with a hell of a story. When you told me this on the phone when you first came back, I was excited as if I had lived it.
Dude, my girl, okay, I want you to finish that. I forgot this part. I talked to my girl once I got back from the fucking shop, and she had said to me once I got up to the hotel room, you know, after you get high, I want you to call me tonight. I told her, I was like, sweetheart, if I get high, I'm the last person you're going to hear from. I said, I do not do that. I am not a sociable person. Not sociable at all when I get high. total fucking isolation, and I need nothing but comfort shit around me. Like, it all has to be comfortable.
Man.
Yep, all about it, man. It has to be the right fucking scene.
Dude, I get it. When I smoke, and granted it's been a long time, but smoking is a big deal. Like, just to give you an example of what I'm talking about, I can't hang out in the same room that I just smoked in. I have to leave that room and go somewhere else because I'll get panicky if I do. I don't know when the hell that started.
I don't know why I get it, but I do.
Right.
Seriously, I couldn't explain to you why I get it, but I actually get it.
I don't know if it's maybe because it's illegal or it's just that, like, all right, we've already hit our max. We feel as good as we want to feel. Time to go get some oxygen. And nothing feels better than smoking and going out in a fall or a summer night, dude. When
that's amazing.
Wind touches your fucking face, bro.
And it's that balance between warm and cool. And it just tickles your skin. Oh my god, that's the fucking dude. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Drinking will never compare to it.
Fuck
dude.
no.
Never.
Drinking makes me feel like shit. It always has.
Yeah.
Like, you get to enjoy being drunk for, like, I'm gonna say at max. And I'm talking about drunk. Like, I'm not talking about buzzed. I'm talking about drunk. You get to enjoy drunk for maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and then the rest of the time it's too much. Yeah, like way too much. What I was gonna say to you before is I think I kind of maybe nailed down in my head why you didn't like staying in the same room.
Yeah.
After you would get high. To me, it's like, you go to a fucking buffet ravenously hungry, you eat a shit ton of food, and then you want to pay the check fast as shit to get out of there.
Yeah.
Because you can't take the sight or smell of food anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is.
That, you know what? That makes total sense, dude.
Yeah.
Makes total fucking sense, dude.
That could be it. That could totally fucking be it.
So that's funny, man. That, you know, you seem to want to, and I get it. 100%. When you're in that zone and you're feeling really good, you just want to relax.
It's nothing against anybody. Like, I came into weed in a sociable way. Like, it was the very first time I smoked weed, I think
that was the only way to be social.
Yeah, that was, or at least around the friends that I had at the time. I think I was 15, 16 years old. My buddy Jimmy, he fucking introduced me to weed. I smoked with him, and, like, it was a cool experience. It was chill as fuck, don't get me wrong. And I used to go to his house and do it all the time. We would smoke weed out of this fucking red bong that I bought off of some fucking website. I kind of used my dad's credit card without asking for that one.
The dark web.
Dark
web light.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, honestly, back then, absolutely. I think it was like 97, 98. But we would smoke out of this beautiful red bong that I got illegally. And we would sit there and we would listen to fucking 311 just like nonstop, or some really good fucking metal that we were digging at the time. So I started with weed very socially, but over time the pleasure centers all aligned in my brain once I was when I was alone, listening to music that I loved and just laying down and not sleeping, not napping, not dozing, just laying down and letting the waves wash over me, sort of like I'm at the edge of the fucking beach, and just really letting the music take me where I needed to be.
Oh, dude, you know? Just the way that every instrument sounds heightened, it's an amazing experience.
It's incredible. I could not recommend enough, man. Try weed if you haven't. Try it, especially if you're an anxious person like myself. But if you're anxious, get indica too.
Yeah, no
indica.
Sativa, because look, I'm an anxious person by Persian. You're
an anxious Persian?
Yeah, apparently.
Me, dude. I didn't know you were a cat.
I'm anxious by nature as well as bipolar. So when I don't know if that has something to do with it, but when I smoke sativa, instant panic attack. Palms get sweaty.
Spaghetti?
Yeah. Heart beats a mile a fucking minute, dude. Yeah. I feel like I can't calm down, and I don't know why it happens. It just doesn't sit well. But versus the indica, where I can smoke, I melt in the chair. One of the few times I may actually open a fucking book and read.
Yeah.
Which is really rare for me to do.
And tell me if you felt any of this. It's sort of like, it's a low frequency sort of staticky buzz or fuzz that's like in my head. And I'm not kidding when I say this. Every fucking time I smoke indica, I end up imagining colorful, trailing geometric shapes. Like I start seeing shapes in my, and I'm not talking about in front of me. It's not a hallucination thing. It's in my head. I start imagining these beautiful, vivid, just colorful geometric shapes just swirling all around. It's almost like, you know what I could compare it to? If you've ever seen Fantasia, like it's not Fantasia. It's not like anything from those cartoons, but it plays like that in my head. Like it's sort of, the music dictates the shapes. The music dictates the formation and the movement of the shapes. Like it's that sort of fucking experience for me.
Definitely. And I can sit there and listen to the music, and I have a movie playing in my head of what a music video.
Yes, same with me, dude. I've done that so many times.
Oh, so great.
That's so dude, there is nothing like it. I'm telling you right now, it's a memory every fucking time.
It really is.
Every time.
Like, dude, I haven't smoked in a real long time, but I recently went to a concert a few months back, Stone Temple Pilots,
Filter?
The Cult, and...
Oh, yeah, no, that was a different... Okay.
Bush. There was so much weed everywhere, dude.
Oh, I'm sure.
It was
especially
impossible.
with the cult there, yeah.
It was impossible not to come back high.
I said the cult, I meant Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah.
With Stone Temple Pilots there especially.
Dude, it was... I came home, eyes are bloodshot. I get that feeling, bro. When I first laid down on the bed, just sinking into it.
It's the best. There's no better feeling.
Closing my eyes for a second and just like, enjoy this because it's not going to happen again.
And that's another thing, dude. I have a bone spur in my cervical fucking spine. I have bad fucking knees. Like, I got a decent amount of shit. All of that went away. Like it's weird because when I was at probably what I'll call the peak of the high, I actually felt that stuff a little bit more, but it wasn't direct pain. It was more like just somebody took a highlight marker and fucking stuck it on each of those spots. So like I was just way more aware of those pain points. But then when I started cascading and the high was, and I'm telling you, man, I came down on a fucking cloud. Like there was no drop. It was like a feather in the air. Like I was just gently coming down. That's when like all the pain just subsided from my body. I was in this bed. Like I said, I really felt like I was cradled by the bed. And it was just, I for a few beautiful moments before I dozed off, I felt like I had no pain, either mentally or physically.
Yeah, dude, I mean, one of the things that stuck out for me was that, I mean, I know we mentioned retention a couple of times on the podcast, but...
Oh yeah, you pee like a river, right, when you smoke?
Dude, all at once.
Yeah.
I didn't have to get up 5, 6, 7 times out of the bed. One shot, done.
One and done.
Beautiful.
It's fucking awesome,
so,
man.
Dude, real quick, I want to circle back around to the hotel.
Okay.
Now, that you're staying in that place, have you ever stayed in that particular hotel before?
No.
Or any other location of theirs?
No, I actually don't know. I don't know if it's like a Marriott or a Hilton where like they have multiple branches. This might have actually been a boutique hotel. Like they might have been a standalone on their own.
Okay.
I had never stayed there before. I'll be honest with you. Like
it wasn't that great.
Oh, well, no. It wasn't that it wasn't great. It's that it didn't start great.
Oh, okay.
I got like everything initially went without a hitch. I'm trying to remember where I fucking flew out of.
JFK, no?
No, I think I flew out of Philly. I want to say I flew out of Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
But the plane trip was fine. Believe it or not, the seats were very fucking comfortable. I don't remember what flight I took, but that's rare nowadays.
For the people that don't know, how long does it take to get from Jersey to Cali?
I want to say it's between 7 or 9 hours, something like that. Like because I'm pretty sure it was like 7.5, 8 hours, something like that.
Okay.
And, you know, of course, probably after hour 2, after 3, I was getting antsy in the pantsies. I can't sleep on planes, unfortunately. Like I've never, and it's not because I'm scared of heights. It's the same thing for me in cars. Like when I'm in motion, I have trouble sleeping. So like I was awake the whole time. I'm not somebody.
And you're surrounded by strangers, dude.
No, I didn't care about that. Planes are different, man, because you go through all that stringent security and there's no, like, you don't really have a lot of fear with stuff like that when you're on a plane. It was more the fact, it's the fact that, like, I'm in motion. I feel motion, so, like, I can't relax enough to go to sleep. There's no panic. I don't want it to be heard wrong.
Now, do you have to... Are you looking out the windows and shit?
Oh yeah, I love looking out the windows. So, see, I'm very different. We grew up differently, and I mean that because my grandfather was actually pretty wealthy. He flew as a TWA pilot, so he made a lot of fucking money. And he owned a Cessna, a small private plane. So, like, he would take my brother and up all the time when we were coming up.
Okay, so you're used to...
I used to fly the plane. He used to let me fly it when I was a kid.
Awesome.
So, like, I was very used to being in planes. So, like, I love planes. I love taking flights. I don't love the business of taking flights, and I don't love most airlines. Matter of fact, I mostly fucking hate them. But, like, once I'm up in the air, I'm fine. But I couldn't sleep, so, like, I had to keep myself busy watching movies, whatever. But I land for the second time, by the way, that year in San Francisco. I went out to San Francisco prior to that to go to GDC. It's a big gaming convention out in San Fran. So this was my second trip that year, getting flown out by a company. I land in San Francisco, goes off without a hitch. I get my Uber, expensive as fuck to get to the hotel, but it goes off without a hitch. I think it was like $35, $37, something like that. It was horrible.
Damn, how many miles? Was it far?
It was decent. I want to say it was like probably 15, 20.
Oh, okay.
No, like 10, 15 miles.
But still a little bit overpriced.
It was way fucking overpriced. It was crazy, but it's San Francisco. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
So I get to the hotel. I go inside, and I can't blame them for this, okay? But I go inside, and I'm like, hi, my name is... I almost gave my full fucking name again.
Yeah.
Checking in. My name is Doug, by the way. I'm not, like, scared of that. It's just the last name you don't need to do.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
My name is Doug. I'm checking in. And they're like, okay. And they look at the computer. They're like, oh, okay, you're an hour early. We don't usually check people in until around 4 o'clock. I'm like, fuck. But, okay, like, I just landed in San Francisco. Like, why not make the most of it? The guy even says to me, he's like, do you want to keep your luggage behind the counter here? I was like, yes, please, if you don't mind.
That's cool. Then they'll at least offer you that, though.
Let me preface any of the story I'm about to say with this. The staff at the Stanford court are wonderful.
Yeah. Wonderful
fucking people. Like, straight up. They're great. Which is, I'm saying that for a reason, because the story doesn't stay super pleasant. But, I put my stuff there. I decide. So he tells me it's going to take them an hour.
Yeah.
I walk out of the hotel. I take my first foray into San Francisco proper. I start walking down the fucking hill. I can't believe how steep it is. Blah 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 blah.
And now, are you looking for food immediately,
Nope,
or are you
no
just
food.
looking for your surroundings to see what's happening?
Trying to get used to the surroundings. I even entertain the notion of walking down to where my interview is going to be tomorrow, because it is within walking distance.
So
that's why the company put me up there, because it's like a 10-minute walk to the company.
So maybe you want to see where it's at, so you get your bearings.
Plan my route the day before, so I can just zip there the next day.
Makes sense. I would do that.
So I start on that trek, and I get down to the very first block, like the very first end of the very first block that I'm walking on. I get a call on my phone. I recognize it as the hotel's number because I had called them prior, making sure that I was reserved before I even went out to San Fran. And I answer the phone and I say, hello, and they're like, hi, Mr. blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, your room's ready. And I'm like, and at this point, I had only been out of the hotel for like 10 minutes. I was like, I thought somebody told me it was going to take them like an hour, and I couldn't really check in until an hour from now. They're like, yeah, no, it's ready now. I'm like, fucking A. And, I'm like, yeah, that's great. I get to go upstairs and relax right away.
If you would have been in a fucking Uber, dude, going halfway across town for some reason, or sitting in a restaurant.
Yeah, but I wasn't.
Right.
So
okay,
I'm like,
fair.
okay. And even if that's the case, if I took an Uber, big deal. If I check in a little bit later, who cares? Same thing.
Yeah.
But so I'm like, okay, cool. I can go upstairs and I can rest for a while. So I go back to the hotel. I grab my stuff from behind the counter and I go up to my room. Get into the fucking room. There are two immediately off to my left, wet ass washcloths on the ground. In the bathroom, there is a completely and utterly soaked wet bath mat.
Get the fuck out of here. So somebody just got done taking a shower.
All but one towel is used. They are all soaking wet, and they're like, I'm standing in liquid already because obviously the fucking towel's not going to hold all that. So like it's spreading out. I go into the room. So yeah, I'm not very happy. Thank God I have my shoes on. I walk into the room proper, and there's fucking magazines everywhere. There's the waiting or the fucking don't knock or whatever fucking sign.
Yeah. Do not disturb.
Spent snack wrappers. Fucking the controller is on the nightstand, or not on the nightstand. It's over on the fucking desk. There's a chair pulled out, and I'm just like, they haven't made up my room yet.
No.
Like they didn't do anything to this room yet. Like they said it was ready, but it's not. So I'm not even, dude, I don't even put my luggage down on the floor. Like I put it up on the fucking desk, and I sit in a chair. There's no way I'm going near the bed. Oh, the bed's all fucked up too. Like the sheets are everywhere.
It's gross.
So I called down to the front desk and I'm like, hey, listen, man, you guys told me I could check in right now. And I'm not a dick at all. Like I wasn't being dickish when I said this, so don't get the wrong idea with that hey man start. But like, I was like, yeah, there seems to be a problem. And they were like, what? And I was like, my room's not clean. Like it's just, nobody has cleaned it. And they were like, who are you? So I answered the question. They're like, oh yeah, no, that room's not ready yet. I'm like, somebody just called me.
It was ready.
And not only that, you gave me the card. Like I was told I can come in here.
Now, is this a different person than the one that was downstairs that told you the room was ready?
Very different person, yes. This is a female, Spanish accent. Like she, by the way, appropriately, she was mortified by this fact. She says, okay, I'm going to use your number and I'm going to text you throughout like the next couple hours. Make sure you get what you need. She said, but what I'm going to do right away is I'm going to call housekeeping and I'm going to tell them to come up to your room right away. So like, don't worry about that. I said, okay. So I get off the phone. I make the best of a bad situation, grab the remote, turn the TV on. I'm watching CNN, whatever the fuck. 15 minutes goes by, a half hour goes by, an hour goes by, an hour and a half goes by. Nobody's coming to this room. And I'm like, okay, now I'm actually kind of mad. Like, because, and let me explain myself. I'm not some fucking waspy, hoity-toity person. But I had woken up at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning. My flight was at 6:30. I didn't get off the flight until I think like around 10 or 11. No, I got this timeline all wrong. I'm sorry. It was a later flight. But I woke up early because I had a bunch of shit I had to get ready. I got up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock. My flight out wasn't until 10. That's what it was.
At
10
night?
o'clock. Yes. No. 10 in the morning. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
10 in the morning. Landed in San Francisco at 5 o'clock my time, which was 2 p.m. their time. So it took me about an hour to get back to the fucking...
up from the time
Dude,
change.
I'm exhausted. I'm jet lagged. Like I haven't eaten any fucking thing since the flight, and the flight was a while ago at this point. So I'm tired, and all I want to fucking do is take my shoes off and just lay in bed. My whole plan was contingent upon get to the hotel and take a nap, and then go out and get some food. Like that was the whole plan. I wasn't able to complete plan A or part one of plan A. So I do now. I called down to this woman that I was talking to, and I was like, look, nobody's been up here yet. I'm like, I'm really not trying to sound like a bastard here.
Well, can you give me
but
a
I am
different room?
fucking exhausted, which is exactly what I said. I said, either can you get somebody up here right away, or can I get into a different room? She says, oh no, there's no more rooms available. I'm so sorry. This, that, the other thing. And I'm like, okay, well, you said you're bringing housekeeping up now. She said, I don't know why they didn't come to you. I definitely told them to come to you. I'm going to figure this out for you right now. This woman is so lovely. She sends me a message saying, let me know if they show up in 5 minutes. If they don't, I'm going to go crazy.
Oh, shit. So somebody's about to lose a job.
She's on my side hardcore. And I'm like, okay. Not even 10 minutes later, somebody comes to the door.
Yeah.
Housekeeping. They're like, you can either leave the room. Why am I lying to you, fine folks? Why am I lying to you about this part of the story?
Yeah.
Okay, this is what actually happens. This woman walks into my room. I say hello.
She says goodbye.
She looks at me like I have 14 and a half heads. Tan complexion. I'm like, okay, there's no way you just understood even hello. You are like, that. You are extremely not American. Like you're from some, yeah. And she makes no secret of it. She is not saying a single American word to me. She's mumbling in Spanish. But I'm not
probably mad right now, like they're rushing me in here to take care of this white devil's fucking business.
No, not at all. Oh my god, that went somewhere it did not need to go. No, they like, it's just hilarious to me because at that moment I really needed to talk to somebody, and here's a person that I literally can't talk to. So I'm like, should I stay in the room or should I go? She's not even following what I'm signing. So
you
like,
don't exist at this point.
Yeah, she literally just like looks over me frantically once in a while, and she starts cleaning. I'm like, I guess I'll go. So I walk out of the fucking room. I go downstairs, and
where's your suitcase? Is it with you? I know that doesn't seem like it's important, but that's an important detail. Do you bring it with you or do you leave it in the room?
No, I'm pretty sure I brought it with me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I brought it with me. And it wasn't out of fucking distrust. Well, it was out of distrust, but
of course, it's a stranger. It doesn't matter what the ethnicity is.
Yeah, I didn't...
If it was a white person or anybody else, I wouldn't leave my shit in there with somebody I don't know.
Well, and it was much less that. It was it was what I had already experienced from this hotel. I was like...
Yeah, you don't know if they're gonna...
How do I know if I'm fucking dealing with, like, hardcore scoundrels here now, you know?
Yeah, maybe they're gonna fence my underwear. We can't have that.
But, so, I tell her... I text this woman back and I say, okay, the housekeeping finally got up here.
Yeah.
And she was like, look, there's no way I can adequately say sorry for what you just went through. She said, I understand you're tired. I'm so sorry we couldn't find you another room.
But...
She said, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna comp you for the breakfast buffet tomorrow. And the breakfast buffet was like $35. She was like, you get a comp, and she said, and if you need anything else from me at all tonight, you do not hesitate to get in contact with me and let me know. Now, so I'm thinking blowjob, like right away.
No,
I'm kidding.
Now, do you get a pass for the breakfast?
Yeah, they give it. She sent me a voucher through the phone.
Oh, okay.
So I was able to just scan it when I got downstairs the next morning, and it was a decent enough breakfast. It was pretty good.
Was it?
Yeah, it wasn't $35 good, but that's San Francisco.
Yeah,
you know,
and hotels probably in general.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, my room finally gets clean, and then I went and got something to eat. That was actually when I went and ate at the Filipino place. Found out about Barbary Coast Dispensary and then went back to the hotel. My room was clean by the time I got back, obviously. Stayed for all 2 seconds, then went back to the dispensary, got my weed candies, and fucking went back.
So basically, the weed candies help erase the first part of the trip that you had.
But not only that, right away, I actually ended up, and it's weird because I'm telling you all this bad shit about the Stanford court. That's not what I want anybody to take away from this. I actually want you to hear that they are an excellent fucking hotel. They had a mishap. It was a fucking mishap. It was a booking issue that ended in somebody being extremely personable with me. It was such a good hospitality experience, and just having people that were so willing to work with me. If I had paid for that room, I guarantee they would have comped me a night. Like, it was only because the company that was looking to hire me spent the money on the hotel that they didn't offer that. I guarantee it.
Well, I mean, even still, if I can interject for just a second.
Yeah.
While there were some negative notes that were involved in this song that is currently happening, I think this ends up to be a more realistic review of a place, because these things are genuine in nature. Like, they're bound to happen. This is the nature of the beast.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And you go on fucking Yelp reviews and stuff, and people will go to a fucking place one time and they will trash the living shit out of it all over online for everybody to fucking see. Now, I'm not talking about the people that have a legitimately
like
nightmare of a fucking experience somewhere. Yeah, like I'm not just because Yelp is also hotels and stuff. They cover all kinds of businesses, but like. So I'm not the kind of person, I'll always give a business a second chance. Well, they earned their second chance that night, and it ended up being a lovely experience. The room was fucking gorgeous. The view from my room was fucking gorgeous. Like,
now, what are you looking at? Now, I know this is nerd shit, but for people like me that have never been to California, we want to know what it feels like to be standing in California with a view.
So let me see. Actually, this isn't going to do shit for our audience, but let me see if I might still have a picture.
Well, even still, I mean, if we could see it, at least we can describe what it might look like.
I could also send you the picture, and you could throw it into the visual part on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, you could just chuck it in there somewhere on the editor.
Maybe I'll make it the thumbnail.
Or something. Maybe, yeah.
We'll figure it out. Somehow, weather must have been beautiful, huh?
It was lovely. I mean, it wasn't warm. That's the one thing. It was not warm by a fucking long shot, but it wasn't oppressively
Jersey
cold
right now.
Yeah, it wasn't oppressively cold by any sort of
hoodie weather.
Yes, hoodie weather.
So that's like
Definitely
50 degrees, I'd say. Would that be accurate to say?
Yes, something like that.
And again, maybe I'm just nerding out. Oh, that's beautiful, dude.
Isn't that nice?
It looks like Alright, there's an old painting it's black and white, of a city. That's what that reminds me of. If you see the header on the YouTube page, actually, that's almost what it reminds me of.
Yeah, it's one of my... I must have looked out that window. What the fuck is it doing? It's like...
It looks like the lights are flickering in the picture.
Oh, it's a movement picture. I forgot that this was a movement one.
That's fucking cool, dude.
Yeah. See?
Yeah, the light turns on. It's so cool.
And you see the lights flashing.
Yeah, dude, it's like we're there right now.
I didn't realize that. That's crazy.
So awesome.
The wonders of tech.
Yeah, really.
Oh, and there's my little babies.
Oh shit!
Well, I'll throw you some pictures so you can like throw them up interspersed throughout.
Yeah.
But there's another fucking picture of downtown right there. Oh, it's another fucking one doing it.
That's awesome.
What the hell was I saying?
You were talking about the view in the hotel room.
The view was incredible. The hotel room, once it was all cleaned up, it was so fucking comfortable. Like the distance from bed to TV was perfect, so I could see everything clearly. And when all the lights were off and I was just watching the TV, like that's when I was like super fucking high. I took two opportunities at that moment, and it was before I fell asleep. One, I sat in the chair and I just looked out onto the city skyline while high, and I breathed that shit in. And then I laid down on my bed, with the pillows up, so I was watching the TV, and I'm just high as fuck like this on the fucking bed, like, yeah, this is the stuff. I was
dude,
so happy.
Now, in the room, do you have a glass door that you open to a balcony, or is it just windows?
I would have loved for there to have been a balcony.
Okay, so you have windows that you can open, or are they screwed shut?
No, you can open them. And
because, dude, I think I may have pulled the chair out in front of the window and hung out there for a while.
Oh, I did?
Dude, just
my timeline's a little shitty. Like, I'm trying to remember.
You're probably cutting out all
I mean, this is all over the course of hours. This is I'm making it sound like minutes, but it's hours.
Yeah, of course.
And so I got to enjoy that skyline for a really long time. I got to enjoy watching CNN for a really long time, which, by the way, yes, I'm like super into fucking political news and stuff. Like I always have been.
I tapped out.
Well,
I only watch my local news, and that's for the weather now. The rest of it is too depressing.
I like being a part of the day's event, you know. Like,
of course, no, dude, you're totally justified in doing that. I just feel like I'm pessimistic enough as it is. I don't need to add on to that by watching terrible things that happen to people throughout the day. So,
but there was no bad coverage that night. Like, it wasn't like it was just news.
Fell into place.
It was just news. Yeah, it was a perfect, I mean fucking 5-star perfect night. Nothing wrong with it. So
great, dude.
So but my first trip out to San Francisco was fucking hell. I got trapped in the airport for 4 days because there was a giant snowstorm. So I decided right then and there I hated San Francisco. My second trip to San Francisco, which was less than 24 hours, made me fall the fuck in love with the city. I completely changed my heart and my mind overnight. Thanks to the Stanford Court Hotel, thanks to the company that interviewed me. I actually wish I could shout you out, even though it didn't work out. But I don't want to put you on anything you might not want to be on. And thank you so much again to Barbary Coast Dispensary. Like, thanks to all of those different factors, I had a beautiful, beautiful time in San Fran. Well, so thank you once again.
Closing up with the San Fran story, if you had to put an estimate on what you think a trip like that would cost you if you were just going at your own leisure, what do you think ballpark it would cost you for a hotel like that, the plane back and forth, and the food money that you would need, including the $20 or so for the edibles?
I'd say at a really low number, you're probably looking at, I'll give it a range each time. You're looking at between 17 to 1800. At a high range of what I did specifically, but I added the day to it. Or 2 days. I like a 3-day vacation.
Yeah.
You've got 17.5% in T-bills amortized over the fiscal year. 8% in stocks and bonds. Carry the 9 divided by the gross national product. Fortunately, funeral bouquets are deductible.
Probably like 2,000 to 2,200.
And that's not, I'm assuming that's probably not too bad, right?
No,
I mean,
that's everything. I mean,
vacation,
that's your
plane ride back,
your
and
round
forth.
trip flight, your transportation everywhere, your hotel, your food, like that's everything rolled into one. And yeah, it's not bad. I mean, you can definitely, and 3 days in San Fran is fucking plenty.
Oh man, I would love to.
You'll see a ton.
I would love to go, man. I've never been on the West Coast ever.
Fuck, what are we calling them? Bird watchers. Send us to San Francisco. Let Kevin see San Fran, man.
Fuck yeah, dude. And I know I have the balls to say this, but doing the live stream the other day when we found out that a certain somebody on YouTube allegedly scammed a bunch of people out of money to go on a UK trip.
Yep.
I was like, dude, how fuck. This guy, if he actually did this, if he scammed his viewership out of money to not go to the fucking UK, that's pretty lame, because I would enjoy going there and meeting up with fucking people and seeing what it's like in a whole nother country, dude.
Where did you hear about him doing that?
It was on the live stream that I was doing. A couple of people that were in the chat were talking to me about how they put money. They said that they had donated to the cause for him to go out to the UK because he got, without getting too specific,
I wanted to put him on blast if it was confirmed. But if it's not confirmed,
it's not confirmed.
I'm not
and I tried looking it up on Google, and I don't know if I'm not putting the correct things in the search engine, but the only thing I can actually pull up is the GoFundMe page that I'm assuming it looks like is still active.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
Okay.
Now, they said that he had already surpassed his goal by several $100s, but the page I looked at last night, I think out of $2,000, he had raised $500.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not sure. But if that, once it is confirmed, I would have no issue with putting him out on blast like that, especially because of how kind everybody in the UK has been to us,
and
dude.
especially with how fucking reaction videos work, dude. You're supposed to be like convening with people and like really kind of like sharing that passion for certain songs and stuff with people. You're really gonna fucking dupe them like that? That's bullshit.
And if you don't want to go, if you don't
say it and then return the fucking money like a man.
Exactly.
You know.
I don't understand, dude. I would love to go and see other places.
So yeah, like that, just there's a lot of cool shit out there to see, man. And I've been very privileged, especially in 2018. I was in San Antonio, I was in Boston, I was in San Francisco. I went back to San Francisco. Like, there's a lot of shit to see, and I've gotten to see a lot of it because of the opportunities I've got.
I just want to say real quick, I think it's cool that last week we talked about my trip to Florida that recently happened, and then this week we get to throw in his trip to California. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. Hopefully one of us will travel again soon, which more than likely Doug will probably travel sooner than I will, but really like to get out to the West Coast at some point, see California, dabble in some of their legal festivities, obviously, see what the weather is like, what the day-to-day life is like, the movement, how people talk, how do they move, how do they act, what do the stores look like, what do they sell over there. As far as like, the one regret that I have going to Florida is there was a Marshall's, which is basically, it's a clothing store, but they sell all kinds of shit. They sell women's shit, guy shit, kid shit, sneakers, hoodies, jeans, and all at bargain prices. And the one regret that I have when I went to Florida is that I didn't go into the Marshalls in Florida to see what they sold. I would have liked to have gone in there just to see how different it would be, their variety versus ours.
Crocodile skin and meth.
Probably.
Yeah.
But, you know...
just like any good Florida establishment.
But I was just saying before you came in how it was cool that last week we talked about my recent Florida trip, and now this week we get to bring up the fact that you went to California not too long ago.
Yeah, no, I'll be honest, like, this has actually been, and not because of any shitty reason, like, oh, I talked a bunch. Like, I just mean, I think the content of this episode has been really fucking gratifying for me personally, just to be able to like talk about it. And it's not just the trips, like it was the
music,
memories and the music. Yeah, this was just a really good, I mean, almost therapeutic episode.
Definitely. I mean, we were overdue for one like this.
Yes.
Not saying that the other ones were bad.
We had a fucking hassle. You guys, we had a fucking podcast all done that we just didn't use because of how shitty it was.
Yeah, it was terrible. And I know I touched up on this in the highlight reel, but look, man, if we go back and play it and go, oh man, there's nothing here.
It's when we try too hard. I've noticed that too. Like,
yeah.
There are days, and listen, I think every content creator goes through this, especially in the beginning. Like, there have been times where Kevin and I have we've known that it's not the right time. We've known that we didn't really have a lot to talk about. We've known that we weren't even in the right state of mind to do it, but we would try to push something out of ourselves, and like, it just doesn't work. Forcing it doesn't fucking work. But this episode was not forced. I have not, like, I haven't overreacted to anything. Like, this is just a nice, chill fucking podcast.
It definitely was, man. And what we mean by forcing it, I want people to know it's not like we're sitting in here and we're having an argument. We don't want to talk.
No, of
or
course not.
that, you know, we're trying to pretend to be happy when we're in a real shitty mood. We bring whatever the day has brought to us, we bring into here so you can see that we're no different from you guys.
No, I'm talking about forcing ourselves to do a podcast when we know it would be better if maybe we didn't at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's what it means. But
we did cut out 2 parts of the podcast, of that particular podcast, the only 2 parts that were actually fucking funny. Mm-hmm. Dude, you legitimately made me cry hard, man. When I don't even remember what it was, but I said something so stupid that you wouldn't even look at me. You were just looking directly out the window.
When I said, I'm just gonna look at the tree.
Yeah. That, and then the whole Bill Cosby thing, that was funny too. Outside of that, nothing.
Yeah, no.
Trust me, you are not losing out on anything, dude. It was fucking terrible.
But that definitely wasn't the case here today. This was amazing, and I mean, I think it's an appropriate time, right?
I would say so. I mean, who knows how? Look, with these, and I'll close up with this. With these kind of podcasts, it feels like it hasn't been long, and then we'll shut it off, and it turns out we've been going for like an hour and a half.
Always
the way it seems to go.
Yeah.
But on that note, appreciate everybody that listens to the podcast. Go check out Doug's channel on YouTube, Douglas B.
I always forget the plug.
Gotta plug that shit. You can check out my channel, Jacko1 Trade, Douglas B, if you want to spell that.
DOUGLESB as in boy, Y. I do like Minecraft streams. I'm trying to I can't make any promises on more reaction videos. I'm trying to figure out what makes me comfortable, you know?
Exactly. And dude, I mean, I can't blame you. I told the people a while ago that I thought about getting out of reactions just because I also feel like it limits me as a person. Like,
we both got a lot to say.
Yeah.
And a lot left to do, so I understand that completely. And check out Jacko1 Trade's channel, man. That's where this all started. He's got crazy amount of reaction content up on there already.
Live streams.
We got of course, we have the podcast over there. That's all lined up for you. And then you can also check,
once in a while, we're not going to put a schedule on it because as it is, it's difficult enough.
Are you going to bring up what I talked about yesterday?
Probably.
Okay, go for it. Yeah.
It's difficult enough to get together to do a podcast sometimes, but we did a live stream the other day where we were just of nonsense. It's basically the podcast, but more random than the podcast is a little bit more messy.
It was really like, and I don't know how often this happens on YouTube already. I know Bert Kreischer, I think he does something like it, but like...
What Doug was trying to say right there was Kreischer. The proper way to pronounce the man's last name is Kreischer. And yes, I am fully aware that I am being a complete douchebag right now, but I have never thought that I would be so lucky to be able to hand one back to him so soon. Thank you for that. Check out Bernd Kreischer's Netflix special, Secret Time. That one's pretty good, and I think The Machine is on there as well, so check that shit out. Funny motherfucker that dude is, bro.
I don't know how to put it across as it's different aesthetically, but like what we were thinking of doing is live streams with all you folks coming in and watching fucking YouTube videos and reacting to them in real time while you guys watch us react and listening to how you're reacting to it through the chat, and like just sort of like a big hang. I was thinking of calling it Vibes, honestly, like just fucking vibes with Douglesby and Jack of One Trade, or Jack of One Trade and Douglesby.
Especially because, like, at least I know with the podcast, this is something that you can turn on and listen to as you go. But with something like that, you can at least in real time join in the conversation.
Yeah, we'll be able to respond to you guys in real time, and you'll also see us reacting to stuff in real time. So yeah, we're gonna keep plowing ahead with ideas. In the meantime,
real quick, I just want to say, I hate to be this guy, but if you haven't already, subscribe on the SoundCloud or the Spotify, whatever platform that you are finding this on,
and let us know, man. Get in contact with us. I got social. You can at me, bro. At me at Douglesby on Twitter.
Yeah, and mine is at Jack of One Trade, JACK0F1 TRADE.
There we go.
So
let me give a proper outro here, by the way. Thank you guys so much yet again for listening to Laughing at Birds. This is episode 11. We're going to have a fresh new episode for you coming next week sometime. Until then, you can go and listen to the back catalog that we have on SoundCloud. You can also check us out on Spotify, CastBox, Radio Public, iTunes. We're getting Pocket Cast. We're getting everywhere, you know. Thanks for listening, and please keep listening.
Yeah. Do that shit.
Yeah.